Hello and welcome to another night of hard-hitting Legacy action here at Mock's Boarding House in Ballard. I'm Chris Wessel.
I'm Tom Lynch.
And we're going to bring you 4 rounds of Legacy, and we're running a little bit late, so I think our players are about ready. Let's check it out.
Yeah, let's get chat pulled up too.
And here we go.
Perfect.
Here's round 1. We have CVM versus local Legacy legend Mike Kiesel.
Is that correct? It looks correct.
Yeah.
Mike's on the left, yeah.
This is our guess at what decks they're playing. We're not sure yet. This is just based on what I've seen.
I know Mike is
in the
on
last
depths
couple
because he
weeks.
told me,
Mm-hmm.
but
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
it's a good deck.
Mike Kiesel's had a lot of success in the last couple of months on depths here, winning back-to-back large Legacy events a couple months ago, and hasn't felt the need to deviate into any other archetypes.
Yeah, really preys on all those like just dinky creature decks
Yeah, everything
and
that I
4-color
play.
decks. Yeah.
Yeah, so Mike Kiesel had the discipline to go look at all the sweet Plague Engineers and Renin 6s and Arkham's Astrolabes and decide to kill people with 2020s.
2020s are pretty good, I hear. They don't have Annihilator 6, but still pretty cool.
All right, let's see. We got our time upgraded. This is event, so that's accurate. And off we go. Mike's looking at his 7. Among the cards, Vampire Hexmage and a couple of Elvish Spirit Guides. I do appreciate that.
Oh, that's definitely Reanimator on the right.
Okay. I was going to say I do appreciate the Elvish Spirit Guides, kind of how you differentiate Legacy from Modern. Even in the colorless decks, I really think you're doing yourself a disservice if you're still playing Simian Spirit Guides and Legacy Eldrazi.
Honestly, and old border green cards look fantastic. That
Yes.
wood plank is like the text. A+.
Mhm. Okay, so CVM's keeping his 7. He has at least one Chancellor of the Annex, is the white one. So that's kind of... I mean, if you keep your 7, I assume that he has a turn 1 or turn 2 Reanimate. This Reanimator deck is consistent enough that there's really no reason to keep a 7 that doesn't have a combo. So the presence of the Chancellor really speaks to the strength of Chris's hand here. Looks like Mike Kiesel's got a Duress and a Bayou, so he has interaction. I didn't catch player draw, did you?
I believe I saw Mike on the draw. So I think we're going to see Chris going... Oh, no, I was wrong. 100%.
Did Chris forget his Chancellor reveal?
It looks like he does not have a Chancellor. He had a Marsh
What's
Flats.
the white card? Oh,
Yep.
pardon me. Okay, so this is a turn 2 Reanimate with Unmask backup.
Is it a Reanimate? He doesn't... Oh, no, he has the Entomb.
Reanimate
Okay.
Entomb, double Unmask, and 3 lands. This hand's marginal for Reanimator. That's got 1,
Yeah.
maybe 2 too many lands.
What do you take? I definitely take the Entomb here.
I'm taking the Entomb.
Absolutely.
Why do you take Entomb?
I mean, so if you take Entomb, that puts their best draw at being Faithless Looting or Entomb.
Sure.
And at least with the Faithless Looting, that has to lead into drawing a fatty. Chris drawing a land there is going to be a major setback. That basically time walks him.
Yeah, he already had 1 land too many, and now he has 2 too many. It's almost like he just didn't even get to take a turn here.
Yeah.
Because this Reanimate does nothing. This Unmasked, you want to save it for your combo turn. Mike Kiesel looks like he has a Duress also to... Well, does he? Yeah, that's a Duress behind the Dark Confidant.
This is a near forced mulligan to 5.
And because he took the Entomb on turn 1, this Duress now gets to take the Reanimate, and now Chris's hand is nothing and 2 Unmasks.
I wonder what
Unclear
Chris
what
is
he's
playing
fetching.
in response. I don't think he has anything to play, so I think he's just fetching because he can.
I want this to be like a tapped Goblet Shrine or something really random.
Casting...
Yeah, he just thought he had the Entomb in his hand,
Yep,
that's all.
Entomb was taken last turn.
So going back, why I think a good rule of thumb when you're playing against Reanimator, both with discard and with counter spells, is to go after the enabler, go after the card that puts the graveyard in the discard, or in the graveyard rather. So this is the Entomb or the Faithless Looting, or in the older versions, Careful Study.
Ooh,
That's because these Reanimator
Lotus
decks,
Petal draw. Brutal.
another brick.
We're sitting here with double unmasking Chris's hand, and Mike is just looking extremely favored.
I was going to say these Reanimator decks typically only have 8 ways to put creatures in the graveyard, and will often have 10 or 12 ways to put them in play. So it's just a numbers game. Mike Kiesel can basically do anything. He did miss a land drop last turn, so he was trying to find a land to run out this Dark Confidant. And now that you have a Dark Confidant and you have a pretty easy to read sign of weaknesses, this weakness from Chris Van Meter, it really is just the world.
Choosing to
is my
Sylvan
choice right
Scrying instead, opting for the exact choice of what he wants.
now. That makes sense.
I don't believe he has a Depths in his hand. Did you see one?
I didn't.
Okay.
But this maximizes your draws. So this lets you draw Depths. He has the Spirit Guide.
This does
he have a
guarantee
Spirit Guide
an...
in this hand.
Yeah, this does guarantee a land drop next
I
turn
see
as well.
Dark Confidant, Pithing Needle, Thespian Stage, and a Mystery card in Mike's hand.
That Pithing Needle's going nowhere this game.
That Pithing Needle could name the Marsh Flats that Mike knows about, but I don't think...
I mean, it could.
all of his other plays are going to be mana efficient enough that he's never going to have an extra mana to throw away. Is that a Chancellor?
No, that
Ashen
is
Rider?
a Ashen Rider. Still going nowhere because he has yet to draw a
So you
discard.
can unmask yourself?
Actually, I believe Chris doesn't even have a Reanimate spell in his hand.
Yeah, he had both the Entomb and the Reanimate
No.
strips. Can you unmask targeting yourself?
You totally can. And another thing, actually, the Ashen Rider will let him kill a 2020
It will.
Merit Lage because it's exile.
A
So-
Thoughtseize. Okay, so he has lots of protection.
Yeah.
Are you firing off a Thoughtseize here? It looks like Chris is.
Now, Chris actually, Ashen Rider trades with 2 Merit Lages.
There's a crop rotation from Mike, so this is a Merit Lage. Next turn.
Gotta
Oh,
love it.
potentially. I don't believe he has a 4th mana, so the Dark Confidant needs to hit a mana, but I have to believe that it's likely to
There's
happen.
another mana.
He just has it.
Yep.
So, must have Sylvan Scrying for a Thespian stage and then immediately drew the other one.
Yep, looks like CVM has one opportunity to draw a reanimation spell here.
So he has to put the Ashen Rider in play this turn. Michael make the Merit Lage after the Ashen Rider triggers.
He doesn't have
or
to
in
put
response to it.
No, he doesn't have to put it into play this turn.
He does, because
Oh,
otherwise
no,
Mike
you're
makes a
right.
right. Step.
Yep, my
So he
bad.
has to chump block and then exile it with the Graveyard Trigger.
Indeed.
So Chris isn't completely dead, except now he is because he didn't play an Ashen Rider this turn.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, Swamp.
No, he
Swamp,
doesn't have to
Marsh
play an
Flats.
Ashen Rider this turn. Mike plays this.
Oh,
makes
you're
a
right.
Dude.
Yep.
He's got one more turn.
Sorry, yeah, I thought the land was in play. So, here's the moment of truth. He has the Ashen Rider, he has the discard outlet, he's looking for Reanimate, and he
That
finds
is-
Dark Ritual.
Yeah, that's not going to be enough.
He can Dark Rit unmask?
On to game 2 we
Okay.
go. That was one of the more anemic games I've seen out of these 2 decks.
Yeah, that was, this is not the matchup that we thought would go to turn 5.
No, this is definitely not
We
the
had
matchup.
the Black-Red Reanimator with 4 lands in play against the Turbo Depths with 4 lands in play.
I don't blame him.
So sideboard, who gets better, who gets worse?
Oh, I gotta think CVM. He gets Magus of the Moon. He gets all these like new toys.
Mhm.
It's great.
Potentially could see something like, a Braid, I guess.
Yeah,
Really, you're only interested in your Magus of the Moon. Looks like his Magus of the Moons are main deck.
it wouldn't surprise me
Either that
as
or
a
he-
one of. It's
might
a
have-
Entomb target sometimes.
Oh, I believe he shuffled his entire sideboard.
He did shuffle in his entire
and he's
sideboard.
doing the trick where you shuffle in 15 and board out 15. Mike is reaching for Caracas and 4 Thalias.
You know, that trick is actually an excellent exercise for decks that you play regularly.
Mhm.
Just doing that, figuring out, it really helps you understand the core concepts of the deck more.
Mhm.
Play better as a
So
player.
you go in and you see every.
Exactly. You
option
really
available
look
to
at
you.
it, seeing what 15 cards do you not want to be playing this game.
Yeah. Also, not something I would recommend for a new deck that you're picking up,
Oh, definitely not.
because I've known. I have an interesting story about a friend of mine playing Ant, playing the old 2 Inquisition main, 1 sideboard, and then 1 Duress main, 2 sideboard.
Ooh.
And he got, I think, like 2 game losses throughout the tournament for just messing up his discard ratios.
Inquisition and Legacy, gross.
Well, it was a long time ago.
Yeah. Some people with
Thoughtseize
no
at one
class.
point was a $70 card.
At one point. Then Theros came along and printed it into the ground.
All right, here we go. We have. Looks like those Thalias and Caracases went back into this. Oh no, so he has a pile of cards to bring in. So it looks like he's bringing in almost 10 cards. That's most of your sideboard. So you must be going for the. The mid-range sideboard plan against him. There we go.
Sure. Yep. Perfect.
Yeah, it's in. Oh, and now it says left deck, right deck. But
Oh,
I'll let you
okay.
take care of that.
Cool.
Um,
So Reanimator is definitely favored in this, I would say. A much faster deck in general. Along with that, contains near the same level of disruption as Depths. So I definitely want to give the favor here to CVM. But we will see how it goes.
yeah, he has to make an early Grizzlebrand with a follow-up creature. But I guess that's not even that hard to do, because Grizzlebrand kind of guarantees a second creature coming into play. And then you can really just chump block the Merit Lage the entire game and just win with your second creature. Most likely
Exactly.
he'll have access to something like a Tidesprout Tyrant. And once that's in play, Turbo Depths is going to have a really hard time winning. I kind of want to give the access to Turbo Depths here. You get to transform into a Maverick deck, as well as bring in any number of Graveyard Interaction that you want to.
Okay, but is transforming into a Maverick deck what you want to be doing against Reanimator?
Well, you still have all of this discard. And so the onus is on Chris to have a turn 1 combo. Otherwise,
Well, I see 2 Lotus Petals, so that always aids with the turn 1 combo.
yeah, I think it's kind of a like where the Storm versus Maverick matchup, where if the Storm player can go off turn 1 or maybe 2, then they're favored. But I think overall,
That's fair. I think
if
that this
Mikey
red-black
gets 2
Reanimator
mana,
deck with aggressive mulligans, which I think you can pull off with the new mulligan rule, I think that this black-red Reanimator deck has a very, very consistent turn 2.
certainly is favored if it's on the play. I will agree with you there. I did see a white card. I believe it's a Chancellor this time. I think I saw double Lotus Petal Animate Dead Chancellor among the cards in his hand. So something like an Unmask or a Thoughtseize or an Entomb or a Faithless Looting would unlock that hand into being a turn 1 Chancellor, which isn't the best threat you want, but it's still pretty stinking good.
Yeah, I agree.
Can't get bounced by Crocus. More Lotus Petals. Well, it just kind of goes to show once you see Lotus Petal in a deck list that means you're doing something unfair. And both of these decks are basically built to cheat a legendary black creature into play and kill your opponents with it.
Gotta love it. Lotus Petal A+ card. Fantastic design. Please print it in standard.
All right. And there's the
Ooh.
Chancellor.
Gotta love it.
Land, Petal.
Does he have
Second
the turn
petal.
1? It looks like he does. CVM showing us the epitome of skill right here. Ooh, I love those white border exhumes.
Yeah, I just love the dynamic that Chancellor does. You reveal it, and you're just going to do whatever you want this turn.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Entomb. Okay. All right, this may be a fast game, too.
What are we throwing in the yard?
The
I'm
Chancellor
guessing just a Gristlebrand. It's gotta be, right? Yeah, there's the Gristlebrand.
protects him from surgical extraction. Mike could have Fairy Macabre to shut this down.
He could. I doubt it's gonna come out. Fairy Macabre seems just not good enough most of the time, and most of these depth decks seem to be tilted towards wanting Surgical instead.
And there's the Grizzlebrand.
Yep, now
Yeah, you
CVM.
definitely have to be specifically targeting this deck before you can put Fairy Macabre in your sideboard.
Absolutely. Now gonna draw 14 cards probably and just mutilate Mike's hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, any number of further Lotus Petals, Unmasks. Doesn't
See what he opts
look
to
like
do.
he found anything else to do. So
I
you can
think
draw
he's just
7
going
again, and
deeper.
yes.
Yep. You definitely want to get one Unmask off here just to see what's going on and probably give yourself at least one turn.
There's a Lotus Petal.
Yeah,
So
there's
Lotus
2
Petal
Lotus
probably
Petals.
unlocks his hand to do whatever he wants this turn. I imagine he's found some number of Dark Roots by now.
There's gotta be.
There's Unmasks, there's Black Cards, there's Reanimates. Reanimate not looking super great when you're at 5 life, but that's the
Yeah.
least of Chris's
This is where we
problems
want
right
to be, though. If we is Chris Van Meter.
now. It's that red card at the top.
Faithless Looting.
Okay, sure.
Abandoned Modern. OP.
Yeah, a lot of the cards in front of us are Abandoned Modern right now, but not
I heard.
Gristlebrand, strangely enough. Unmasked pitches Reanimate. And we see...
Ooh, not a whole lot going on. I just take the Reclaimer.
Yeah,
That basically locks this game up.
same. You still have the Chancellor trigger, so
Yeah.
that Lotus Petal is just going to be tossed at the trigger.
Yeah, the Reclaimer is the only thing that can find a Karakas in that hand. I'm definitely all in on Reclaimer. Ooh, okay. Taking the Lotus Petal, just choosing to option a Time Walk against Mike
Mhm.
instead.
Yeah, leveraging that Chancellor we talked about. So there's the Petal, there's the Dark Ray. Here's
Man,
the
what a
Entomb.
pretty deck. The beta Dark Rituals as well.
Mhm.
Really here for it.
The Beta Dark Rituals next to the white border Unmasks.
Even ruder we are with the...
Exhumes, rather.
Yeah. Here comes the Magus of the Moon. There's a reason to not take the Reclaimer if you're planning on casting another Exhume.
He just exhumed a Magus of the Moon.
Yeah, he did.
Amazing. Legacy's such a delight.
Choosing what cards he wants to leave in his hand.
I thought this one would be a Tidespout Tyrant, but I guess given his hand... So yeah, so he takes the Lotus Petal as the only black or green card. Black or green mana producing card.
Yeah, white border would be important if it was a card that you could tutor for. But here the Exhumes can't be tutored for. So white border is the best choice, honestly.
I had a Tiny Leaders deck where I whiteboarded all my Shocklands because it made fetching that much more convenient.
Hmm.
Just had 3 white border duels, 3 white border basics.
Were they
and 3
Rob
white border
Alexander shocks?
shocks. Yes.
Ooh, even better.
Yeah, it was before the newer versions were printed.
Fun fact, for every particle of ink you erase, $1 goes away.
And we define a particle.
I don't know, just whatever you want.
All right. I still think this favors Mike. He's got Caracas. He's got crop rotations to find it. He's got Thalias. He's got Spirit Guides and Lotus Petals to potentially turn one to Thalia. He's got fast mana to pay for Chancellor triggers. It's just a matter of getting to that crucial 2 mana. And 2 mana in Legacy is often turn 1, especially in a deck constructed like
Oh,
Mike's.
most definitely. I'm still in on Black Red Reanimator having the favored in this. Such a strong turn 1 archetype, and just like, I think the big thing for me is that Black Red gets to play with Chancellor, and Chancellor, if you get it, basically time walks your opponent's first turn 1.
Basically a daze that you can discard a Faithless Looting and cash in for another card.
Exactly, it's fantastic.
All right, so it doesn't look like either player is looking at the sideboard again. They're fine with the decisions they've made.
Yeah, combo decks especially don't normally change sideboard based on play draw. Sometimes some hand disruption spells will come in or out, but other than that, not a whole lot changes in the plan.
Elvish Reclaimer. Mike is definitely not all in on his combo in post-board games, where the Reanimator deck kind of has to be. Let's see.
I see an Exhume. It's white border. Fantastic. I see 2 Exhumes.
Petal Unmasked. This hand isn't keepable.
Man, these
What's
white
that last
borders are
card?
useful for casting.
What's that last card in the back? Grizzlebrand?
I'm not sure. But if it is a creature, this is a turn 1, I think. I believe that Unmask will be able to take a card from his hand.
Opening play comes Urborg Thoughtseize. So that's the other
It
reason.
is a Gristlebrand. So what are we taking here? I think we have to take the Unmask because of
I
that.
also believe you take the Unmask.
Wow. Fantastic hand.
So this is the other consideration, is now that Mike's on the play, Mike is playing probably 8, maybe more 1-mana discard spells, and Reanimator doesn't have a lot of hands that aren't soft to a single discard spell.
It's very fair.
Actually,
Oh, yay. Thank you very much.
BRB whiteboarding my tendrils. There you go. Yeah, that'd be great if we could we'd sit down and really, I want every card in the deck to be a different border. I think that would make my life a lot easier. At least every card that's the same color.
I'm just hoping that they print every single Magic card in the Amonkhet Masterpiece frame.
Some people just want to watch the world burn.
It's me.
This is quite the turn for Mike. He had the follow-up Elfish Spirit Guide into 1-mana Elf. Can you synchro summon an
I don't think Exhume
Understand any of those
has
words.
Splice onto sorcery. Oh, yes.
No, that new storybook frame is an abomination.
I'm
It
a
is an
really big
affront.
fan, especially of the special version of it. I really like that one.
It's an affront to Magic players everywhere. Chris Van Meter drew Chancellor of the Annex off the top. Really just the best draw in the deck, I would say. But it does bring him back to 7 cards in hand shoots next turn. He has the option to discard to hand size. And it looks like he is going to get 1 additional turn,
Yeah.
barring Mike having a Spirit Guide. No, he definitely gets 1 additional turn. Because the Reclaimer puts the land into play tapped.
Yeah. I agree that it might be confusing at first, but they've been like doing different frames based on special rares or not for a while now.
Look, all I'm saying is that I read the entire Morrow article about all the different frames and booster packs and foils and costs and all, and I still have no idea what the booster packs of Throne of Eldraine are going to look like.
Yeah.
Not a clue.
I'm in with you.
I know that it's got Arcane Signet in it somewhere, that those will exist somehow.
In the booster packs?
In one of the booster packs in some way, there will be foil Arcane Signets, and that's
Ooh.
really all I care about from the set so far.
Nice.
But while we're in between rounds, we will have plenty of time to discuss Throne of Eldraine spoilers. So if there's any card you'd like to talk about, go ahead and throw it in the chat, and we'll make sure we get to it. Mike EOT tutored for a fetch land.
Oof.
Decides he doesn't want this Dark Depths. Fetches away. The green source unlocks, I believe, a crop rotation and a second Elvish Reclaimer that he has in his hand.
Well, the grind is here.
It's a very delightful Guru Forest. Playing around the Blood Moon he saw in Game 2, plus Urborg turns it into a swamp. Chris did take the line of draw and then discard to hand size, so the onus is on Mike to stop this in some way. And a single discard spell isn't going to do it, because Chris has got 2 Lotus Petals, and a land, and 2 Exhumes. So I think we're going to see Grizzlebrand enter the battlefield this turn.
I would be surprised at anything less. Honestly, with the amount of
Mike get
mana
Bojuka Bog?
CVM has access to,
Mike can get Bojuka
he
Bog.
can get Bojuka Bog. Ooh.
Just no fun. No fun allowed. This is why I say I think Maverick's favored against the slower versions of Reanimator, and this just seems like a faster version of Maverick with a faster version of Reanimator. Once Mike navigated that critical turn by the play of casting Thoughtseize.
The
Then-
creature is Elvish Reclaimer, and there are 2 of them.
Yeah, we'll throw that up on the screen. This is kind of a newcomer to Legacy.
Have we gotten this updated?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is hitting the internet now, thanks
Ooh.
to, I believe, Patrick Daly wrote us our little card.
Oh, thank you very
displaying
much,
Python
Patrick Daly.
script that hits Scryfall. Scryfall being a sponsor of Card Kingdom.
They have a great API.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a small
Yep.
thing for a Discord server, and it's really, really easy to use.
Yeah, someday I'll get my hands dirty with it, but otherwise I've never heard anything other than good things from it. So here's the Exhume on the stack. Elvish Reclaimer gets activated. See what it gets. It is Pajugabog. Does Chris have the Entomb for a blowout? I believe his draw, well, if he has it as his one draw this turn,
He doesn't
it looks
have
like
it.
he has Dark Ritual as his last card.
Yeah, he doesn't have the Entomb.
A lot of
No
these
blowouts today.
black cards with scary artwork that don't look immediately discernible on camera, but he's not. Is
You
he
need the
super
big
far
scary
away?
thing.
He can't discard to hand size anymore, so now he's drawing to Faithless Looting or Entomb. This is an attack for 6. Mike's got 3 lands in his graveyard by now. He may just be off the Dark Depths plan and onto the play some elves, play some wild Nakados, and turn them sideways.
Man, there's the Faithless Looting that we were looking for.
So
Mike
if all
not
goes
happy
well,
to see that on the
he's got
stack.
to reanimate. So if all goes well, this turns into a Chancellor of the Annex. Magus of the Moon's a little late to the party.
Mike has a Assassin's Trophy, so if Chris decides
Oh,
to go the
crazy.
route of Animate Dead, that could be a problem.
Well, and Assassin's Trophy just blows up Chancellor of the Annex.
Oh, I guess it does do that, huh?
Reanimate deals 7, puts him at 6, and then Assassin's Trophy blows it up, and he takes 6 from the elves. So if he reanimates a Chancellor, he dies. Let's see if that's what the line ends up being. It probably is that he doesn't have an alternative, though. Yeah, this Black-Red Reanimator deck's kind of on rails when you get to a point like this. But it's either that or you reanimate a Magus of the Moon, but that also doesn't do anything, so...
Yeah, especially this deep into the game.
Here we go.
That one will lock it up for Mike Kiesel. You know, that was a pretty good match, honestly.
There's a lot more interaction than I expected there to be in this matchup.
All in
but,
all, fantastic match. Mike taking it in 3. We forgot to mark that, but yeah, Mike taking that one in 3. We will attempt to get y'all a backup match. We'll see where the painter deck is at. I'll be right back.
All right, in the meantime, Throne of Eldraine spoilers. Is there anything from the technical difficulties from the spoiler season that are coming out that is Legacy playable? I think there's one here. Y'all can watch my lovely face. Hello, friends. I have a fairy from the new set that I think is going to break the Legacy barrier, but so far I think we're at a 1 for 200 cards spoiled so far. You did hear Painter. We have somebody in the room playing Strawberry Parfait, the Legacy deck of your red-white Painter Servant combo. It's gotten a couple of new toys. It's gotten a Goblin Tinkerer, Goblin Engineer, which can now tutor for both halves of the Painter Servant combo, in addition to the axis of interaction that the deck already had available to it. So that's what we're going to try to get on camera. I doubt it when Pyroblast exists. The 1-mana blue mana leak is a Spell Pierce if it's a better Spell Pierce if you're playing against a blue deck. And I don't think it's going to quite cut it. Yeah, Void Lily makes a good point about Pyroblast. The new Mana Leak may see play in blue-black shells, something like Death Shadow, but unclear whether or not that's something that they're actually interested in. Death Shadow player usually isn't countering blue spells, it's countering removal spells. It could be a potential sideboard card out of mono blue combo decks, but they have Flusterstorm to play for that effect, and I don't think Mana Leaking a Jace is worth losing the utility that Flusterstorm gives you. But it is certainly another. We're talking about there's a 1-mana Mana Leak Gainsay hybrid in the new set. Yeah, so it counters a blue spell. It costs 3 mana. and it's mana leak. But if it targets a blue spell, it costs 2 less. So it's
Oh.
a spell pierce for blue spells.
Juicy. All right. Well, we
Mana
have
leak
a backup
For
match.
blue spells. That's how I guess I think of it.
Confirmed backup match.
Everyone's really excited about Questing Beast, but I don't see it. I need to be convinced.
Table 4, Lee versus Joe Hurwitz. Joe got game 1.
All it says is that Trina Nemesis must attack each turn. It doesn't actually stop, or it stops the TNN from blocking, but it isn't able to block the TNN by itself. Which is unclear if that's something that you're in the market for, something that specific, because the card really doesn't do anything against anything but Trina Nemesis.
All right, we're gonna head down to the match. Our backup match
Yeah,
should
it
be
dies to
rolling
Fatal
around
Push.
soon.
That's what I think about it. If it had Hexproof,
We got Joe on the left,
get back to me.
Lee on the right. I forgot to ask what both of them are playing, so
We
we're
know
gonna
at
be
least
finding
one of
out
them
with
is
them.
playing Painter.
But no, we don't. This isn't the painter
this
match.
is not
no,
a
the
Painter
painter
match?
match
Okay.
wrapped up before we
We've got
got
our
to
names
it.
up here. We have Joe Hirtz versus Lee Win.
Yep.
And let's see, what are those? Are those fugitive wizards? Why are there fugitive wizards?
I'm not sure. I'm excited
On the
though.
white border, 8th edition fugitive wizards from Joe.
Joe is up a game right now. That's all I'm aware of.
Okay, perfect. What could fugitive wizard be? 1/1 tokens, possibly? Unflipped Delver of Secrets. He just has them face down in the sleeve and he puts fugitive wizards on them when they don't flip.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. I don't think that's what it is, but that's what I'm hoping is. Very nice PAX playmat. We just had PAX up here a couple
Oh
weeks
yeah,
ago.
but that's the PAX East one. PAX
Oh,
East
well,
definitely
never
got the
mind.
high roll.
Not a nice playmat.
The Bolas mat, much better than the Liliana mat. Just gonna say it.
I believe last time I checked, West Coast was best coast. So I see a Karn.
See a Karn. I'm excited
We're
for a
Karning
Karn.
people out of Joe's deck. Lee isn't generous enough to tell us what's in his hand.
I'm gonna call Joe's deck mud for now.
We have a turn 1 ley line. Oh, is Leon?
Oh, it's
possibly?
post. It's 12 post.
Okay.
Might not be 12, actually 12 posts, but it's the same idea.
Well, decks where you boarded Leyline are never happy to see Leyline. Hold on, what? Okay, so there is a Delver deck in play.
Fantastic. I'm
Still unsure
gonna
what the
assume Lee is on
fugitive
Rug
wizards
Delver.
are for.
Ooh, the 2-mana kill a Delver.
So against Rug Delver, Leyline makes Renin 6 worse, but not nothing. Makes Tarmogoyf worse, but not nothing. It does make Arcanist nothing.
Ooh, the force
go.
pitching force, but not the normal force.
Love the force pitching force.
Big fan.
Okay, you don't have to reveal it if you
Did
miss, but
reveal.
that's fine. All right, best follow-up play here is probably a Renin 6, as it usually is. Tarmogoyf is also large. That force is exiled, but
Yeah.
we'll rely on our players to be good Magic players and figure that out pretty soon here.
Oh, it is what it's for.
Yeah.
Bless.
Fusion Wizards are just there to destroy your opponent, and I can't think of really a better use for that card. So we have a Ponder here.
Yep. Ponder also exiled. Hopefully they'll figure it out.
Yeah, unfortunately, having artifacts in your graveyard, Joe's going to have a land in his graveyard shortly. Tarmogoyf's already a 3/4, so Leyline isn't doing anything
You
against
actually,
that axis.
I don't know if you're technically allowed to, if it's not, but
You're allowed to reveal
you're always
yes,
allowed
you're
to
always
reveal
allowed to
anything
reveal
from
it.
your hand. So
Yeah, it
might not be a part of the action.
So we caught up with our Leyline here. It may be that Joe has realized that the Renin 6 Wasteland lock is so good against him that he has to play Land on the Void to shut off that axis. And in that case, I respect it. Is knowing the format, knowing what you have to beat. Even though Leyline isn't really a 1-for-1 against any of the cards in his deck, there are enough graveyard synergies in the modern versions of Rug that it's gonna represent the better part of a card as the game goes on. Preordain means he's playing a heavy Dreadhorde Arcanist build. The new Hex Drinker builds of this deck aren't playing Preordain. Have you?
I think that you might be 100% right.
Yeah, chat's a little bit behind us. Have you been following the new Rug Delver builds, Tom?
Honestly, not. I think that they're very overplayed, overrepresented.
And they're really kind of interchangeable, whether you're playing Nimble Mongoose or Arcane Arcanist or Hex Drinker. But Hex
Goyf's
Drinker is,
will not be a permanent 0-1 because his opponent has a yard. Right now, Goyf would be a 3-4.
yeah. NBC Rug, No Bads Cards Rug, popularized by Max Stortion. Or at least I believe he's the one that popularized the name. But yeah, the modern iterations of it are starting to cut Dreadhorde Arcanist for Hex Drinker because having a Progenitus out of a Rug Delver deck is a pretty sweet place to be, and it gives you a chance to use all the extra mana that Ren and 6 gives you. Karn coming down.
Oh, is Hex Drinker finally seeing play?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I've loved Hex Drinker since
Yeah, basically in the Nimble Mongoose slot.
New Phyrexia. What a set.
So Karn comes down at 5. Joe's considering his sideboard. The best sideboard card, the best artifact that he can find is Ensnaring Bridge for this matchup. Magnificent Lattice might be good, but you don't really want to run into Daze and Spell Pierce. Like, it'd be good if it resolved, but we already know that Joe has a Daze, and he's kind of short on lands.
Indeed.
Landlord Void is very good against Nimble Mongoose, and so if Joe is playing Nimble Mongoose, we don't know if he is or isn't. But
there's
if
the
that's a
bridge.
card that Lee saw game 1, then
Joe
it
will
makes this land
probably
much
have a
better.
problem with this bridge, honestly.
What do you think of the not Stoneblade, not Miracles, Blue Eye Control List, the top of the Legacy format playoff? You have to jog my memory because I have no idea what you're talking about. I do remember seeing a deck that said UW, but I assumed that it was Goldfish misclassifying a Stoneblade list, and so I didn't click on it.
Those things happen quite a
Delver
bit.
turns sideways, Karn dies. Joe looks a little flooded on lands. Normally you don't want to hit your 4th land drop if there is a
Oh, this is a neat deck.
if there's no Ren and 6 in play.
Okay, so it's running
Snapcaster, Mentor.
Snaps and Mentors, and then
Sure, looks like Miracles. 2 Magmatic Sinkhole in the main.
I don't know. This looks like a Stoneblade
Oh,
deck
it's got
that
Astrolabes. I was just doing weird stuff.
I'm convinced. Oh no, this doesn't even have.
Just no good cards.
Yeah,
Just 0 good cards.
I feel like
Either
this
way.
deck will have a very hard problem grinding.
No, it's got 6 Planeswalkers.
Eh. One of them doesn't even do anything.
And Mentor. Alright, we'll talk about that between the break. We might
Exactly.
Well, we know we can't throw it up on the screen, but I did try, so I get credit for that. Lee opts to go for this Ensnaring Bridge and gets double dazed.
Brutal. That definitely is a problem that you run into when you play City of Traders early. It really limits your mana later in the game. Definitely makes days relevant for longer.
I don't think I like running out this Tropical Island from Joe. I think once I have 4 lands and I get the opportunity to bounce 2 of them, I'm just trying to draw a Brainstorm. But we haven't seen his hand. And once you have a critical mass of lands, then you can't really ever save yourself by holding them all. He's not going to show us. Looks like Trop and 2 fetches in his hand still. Yikes. NGC Miracles. No good cards Miracles. There you go. We're coining new deck names all over the place. Credit that one to Card Kingdom. Bringing you 4 rounds of hard-hitting legacy action every Monday night at 6:30 Pacific. There's Ugin.
My favorite Ugin.
Color spells cost 2 less to play. Oh, we might be seeing some Mystic Forge shenanigans happening in this match.
Dice Factory, but no dice. Oh, there's some dice.
Yeah, so we have a Dead Delver, a Stabilized Board under an Ugin, and a Chalice at 1. I have to say Lee's favored from this point.
Oh, I'm all in on this board.
There's a Dreadhorde
Dreadhorde.
Arcanist. This is a vanilla 1/3.
Yeah, that doesn't seem great.
And I believe Ugin's ability is to manifest a card every turn.
Ugin does make 2/2s every turn.
And so this vanilla 1/3 is going to do
Yes.
almost exactly nothing.
2/2s block 1/3s very
But you
well.
can't brainstorm it away. Joe just hit his 5th land drop. He could be representing Hardcast Force of Negation here.
It's a pretty cool blast zone.
Although if he had it, he would have forced the Ugin. So I have to say that this is all but done.
I don't think it's quite manifest. I don't think you can.
I believe it is manifest.
No, I don't think it is.
Oh no, it's you.
You make
I-
the top card a 2/2, and then when it dies, you get the card.
I believe it is manifest, but you also get the card when it dies.
No, because you can't cast it while it's under it.
What are the odds that I remember the name of this card? Ugin.
You can just type that in. Should work.
No, there's 2 Ugins though.
Oh, it doesn't give you a list. Darn.
All right, chat. I'll give a nickel and
Ooh,
Card
the
Kingdom
ineffable.
credit to the first player. Okay.
You kind of lied to
Ugin.
them.
The and F. He typed it before I finished the sentence, so.
Oh, man. Yeah. So it exiles the card, make it 2/2. When the 2/2 dies, get the card back. You promised them a nickel, and you lied.
Nah, I'm wrong. I'll give you a nickel. Come find me.
Come
My
find
name
you.
is Tom Lynch.
Oh,
I'm
no.
here every Monday night.
I was baited. Here comes the rock that taps for 3 mana. Taps it for 3 mana.
Yeah,
Fun fact, that card is a ritual with Ugin out.
yeah, it's very good. Oh, and here's some follow-up Karn. So looks like Ugin's friend Karn and also Karn have come to play.
I love this new Planeswalker rule.
Yeah, you just make all the super friends, but they're the same friend, just at different points in their lives. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have Karn and Ugin and a bunch of face down tokens and vanilla 1/3s on the other side. And yeah, once that Ugin resolved, that was kind of all she wrote. Joe's hand looked really poor that game. That every once in a while with these Delver decks, you do just flat out. You really never want to hit your 5th land drop.
That's very true. That's what all the cantrips are for, but sometimes the cantrips fail.
Was Leyland of Void good that game?
Yeah, I would say so. Absolutely.
What did it do?
It removed the ability for that Dreadhorde Arcanist to attack and cast a relevant spell.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you just have Ugin, their Dreadhorde can keep attacking and casting stuff while you have a 2/2.
For exactly 1 turn until you have 2 2/2s.
Until you, yeah, but
Yeah,
they
I
may
suppose.
be able to chain that into more stuff.
Land of the Void and Chalice of the Void are kind of interchangeable in that they are Void tribal cards, and they
Indeed.
both shut down Dreadhorde Arcanist from doing anything that it wants to do.
Yeah.
But Joe gets to play this game, which is going to make the matchup much harder for Lee. Being on the play with Delver turns on your Dazes, turns on your Spell Pierces. Joe didn't move to a sideboard, which means he's left all of his soft permission in. Occasionally you'll see Delver board them out when they're on the draw, but I think it's correct in this matchup to just leave them all in.
Yeah, I mean, 12 post makes so much mana that soft permission falls off very, very quickly. And sometimes it's just not worth sighting in even on the play.
Yep. Yeah, really the only way... So I guess the flip side of that is the best way for Delver to win is to interact on an axis that traps all these 4 mana cards in Lee's hand, and then your Dazes become very live. But if you ever let him get to, say, 6 mana, where he can play Planeswalker through a Spell Pierce, you're kind of... you're probably not winning that game. Notably,
Right.
Joe didn't find a Wasteland in Game 2, so...
I think
he's
I'm going
gonna
to
be
give
looking for
advantage
more
to
of that
Lee
card.
here, just because I think Lee's deck can generally go over Joe pretty well.
Another ley line.
But
Kind of the unspoken part about Leyline is it forces you to keep whatever hand is in it, so whatever hand has the Leyline. So Lee's been fortunate enough to keep 7s, but he may be keeping them on the virtue of a Leyline, not because of their good hands.
give me your input on the Spellbook Brainstorm.
I like the Spellbook Brainstorm.
Okay.
I think it's an attractive frame. I'm not in love with having Jace in the art of my Legacy cards.
Do you use
but
Jace Face Ponder?
I do not. No, that's not. It's not got Jace in it. It's got Pondering Mage.
Is it Pondering Mage?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it's Jace.
No, it's Pondering Mage. I use Pondering Mage Face Ponder, and I'm just gonna. We'll just go on principle because otherwise I have to use a card with Jace on it, and I wouldn't choose to do that.
You could just use the Lauren Ponders; they're better.
But I do like the frame on the spellbook cards. I also like that they're appropriately priced. You don't have to pay through the nose to get them.
That's fair. I think they did do a fairly good job at them, even if they are a glorified booster pack.
I also like the spellbook frame Rest in Pieces. I think that's my favorite Rest in Piece.
Ooh.
There's a
Good
Null
choice.
Rod.
Oh, bless the Null Rod.
Let's see. What
This
is
is some
Null Rod?
OG tech. It doesn't do anything.
So Null Rod's very good against Walking Ballista and Thran Dynamo. Yeah, throw that up there. Hopefully we get the right art.
Hopefully for everybody, I would not be surprised if people don't know this card, but this card is it's Stony Silence,
But it doesn't do anything.
and it's Collector Oof.
It doesn't do anything.
Agreed. It does nothing.
There you go. Double Ren and 6 Days Spell Pierce. This is quite the hand from Joe.
So yeah, this Spyglass is naming Ren in 6. I think absolutely.
So there's a ley line in play. So once this wasteland gets used, you can't use it again.
Do you think that's a good enough reason to name
No,
Wasteland?
I'm letting Ren in 6 because it's the only card in the deck that you can name. You can't name Wasteland with Spyglass. I would love
No,
to.
Spyglass can name Wasteland.
No, can't.
Yeah, it can.
Really?
Yep, absolutely. Spyglass is Needle. But I still think you name Ren in 6. Named Wasteland? Okay, named Wasteland. That's not too surprising. I think it's Ren in 6 just because it can accrue more value over time.
Sorceress. Oh, I thought it was Sorcerer.
Well,
Spyglass.
guess I was wrong. Look at that. The Wasteland rip off the top. It's going to be brutal.
Oh, he tried so hard.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, it really wants a red source, but I mean, Ren in 6 isn't even. It's just a slow lightning bolt at this point.
I feel like Slow Lightning Bolt is all that Joe can really do to win this game at this point, though. You know?
That's a lot from 22.
Yeah.
I guess
Not
you
wrong.
do eventually get the ultimate, but that doesn't work. That doesn't do anything. So, Ren in 6 being a slow lightning bolt.
Well, that
Joe
is fair.
has drawn.
Either
two
way, this game
cantrips
is
across
over.
2 games, which has got to be major feel bads.
Yeah. That Trinisphere will be a nail in the coffin, likely. Casting
So
the
just
Spell
pierces
Pierce.
it. And
Pays the
dazes
Spell
it.
Pierce,
Okay, sure.
days. Yeah, that's still pretty brutal, though. So far behind on doing
A
anything.
red source off the top would allow him to play Dreadhorde Arcanist, which is a middle 1/3 in the face of that ley line.
That's very true.
So he can draw exactly Tarmogoyf. That's kind of the only draw in Joe's deck that does anything right now.
Yeah, so he probably didn't have a red source.
So you can't cast the.
There's the Karn.
Are you asking why he didn't just cast the Daze? It was because the land was tapped to pay for the Spell Pierce.
Yeah.
Everything else in his hand is red.
Karn.
Yeah, he had to Spell Pierce plus Daze to hit the Trinisphere.
Turning off Null Rob with Karn.
Yeah, No Rod can't be activated. Sorcerer Spyglass can't be activated. The No Rod is in the deck because it does a lot of things. But one of the things it does is it stops the Mycosynth Lattice from doing anything. This
Grabs a artifact that has activated ability.
This might be a slight
Joe
misstep
points
from Lee.
at-
I think just realized. Yeah, he just realized he got the Helm of Obedience.
Gotta love it.
And
Rip
face
the
of
Rip
his
Helm
Snow
combo.
Rod,
Null Rod putting in its work here.
That's cute, but yeah, we saw. Lee still needs a Tarmogoyf here. Okay, that's not
Wow.
anything.
Man, I was super wrong on naming Ren in 6 here. Holy moly.
Yeah, that Ren in 6, he just never had the opportunity to cast it.
Yeah.
Even still.
Alright. Try to getting a new thing. Gotta love Karn.
Buried Ruin could return Trinisphere.
Just gonna
Yeah,
turn
that's
off
not-
his opponent's deck.
But that also turns off your deck.
Does
How's he
it?
gonna win?
Oh my god, it does turn off his deck. There's a
There's a
Null
Null
Rod.
Rod in play.
That's a draw. Oh, gotta love
What
it.
happened?
Okay.
He scooped?
Yeah, he
Don't
drew the
scoop.
game.
Make him show that he can win. No, we need to count the cards in library, friends.
Yeah, they do, but I think they're just gonna draw the game. I think they're gonna choose to draw the game and move on. Oh boy,
I need to know what the result of that.
that was amazing. Are we gonna run it back? They should.
Yeah, was this? That should be a draw. That should be. Let's count libraries
Yeah.
and see what happens.
We can't say that though. I think they're gonna play game 4. Let's get
I
them
hope
to play.
so.
We'll see if they play game 4. That'd be nice. They have 5 minutes left in the
Unclear
round.
what's happening. I imagine that Joe just conceded here. They aren't starting another game.
Possibly. Oh boy. Oh.
Could have played the helm and beat for 4. You can't animate the helm because you can't activate your Karn once
Yeah,
you
you
turn
can.
him into an artifact.
I mean, once he played Mycosynth Lattice, it was over. But
Yeah.
Karn could have used the helm to beat for 4 over and over.
Oh sure, yeah. I mean, you could have beat for 2 with the Sorcerer Spyglass. You could have done all sorts
Yeah.
of stuff.
You're not wrong.
Joe may have conceded, not realizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from Joe's spot, your deck doesn't do anything.
Both players
Like,
seem
you
pretty
can't actually
confused
beat
right
that.
there.
So it would have just come down to counting cards in library, and I believe since Joe cast a Brainstorm, he's probably the one that loses the game. But it would have been. They could have at least checked, you know.
Yeah.
You got to do your due diligence. All right, we'll bring it back here for the last couple of minutes of the round. Looks like we have 4 or 5 minutes
Back
left
to
in this round.
us.
So happy I saw that. Yeah, that's the theory, right? Is you put the null rod in your Delver sideboard, and then you just set it in play, and it shuts off walking blisters and stops your opponent from mycosynth you while you have a creature out.
All right, I'm in for this
Now,
plan.
if they don't have a creature out, or if your hand is 4 red spells, a tropical island, and 3 wastelands, then there's really nothing you can do. It's interesting that the reason Rug kind of became more popular in the 4-color build is because of the stability of the mana base, and then we just saw the deck just utterly crash and burn with its
Sometimes it happens.
tropical island, quad wasteland draw.
It's punishment for Wasteland.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
and he did brainstorm early in the game, but really with what he drew, there was no point in the game where a brainstorm would have found him a fetch land because he was more than 7 cards into his deck.
Sadly, here at Card Kingdom, we got rid of our wrestling pit last year, so we can't do that anymore. Wish we could.
Yeah, really, that would be
The best
way
Yeah.
to settle draws, yeah. Since this is regular and we can do whatever we want. Speaking of regular REL, if anyone wants to come play regular REL, they can do it with Throw Drain cards, which you can get pre-order from cardkingdom.com.
Ooh, you can do that.
Pre-orders are up now. Everything except for what's in the fancy foily boosters, because no one has any idea what those are going to cost or what the distribution is going to be. But as spoilers come up, thus do new pre-orders at cardkingdom.com. Throw Drain is right on the homepage, and you get all of your legacy staples from it, like
Oka, food maker,
Oka Food Maker,
and Golden Goose, food eater.
Golden. So I would have trouble putting Golden Goose into a legacy deck, I think.
Why? It's Deathrite Shaman, right?
You would need some way. The food would have to matter. So if you're in a Mox Opal strategy,
Ooh.
come
Come on.
maybe because it's a Birds of Paradise that gets you an
Gaining 3
artifact
life
for Metalcraft.
is just as good as drawing a card.
I would argue that it's not.
Food tokens
I
are
would
just as
say-
good as clue tokens. Come on.
I would say that we're not close. Questing Beast is the one that I wonder. Let's test the
Scryfall, if Scryfall
API.
has it, then let's see. It worked.
Ha!
Go team.
We
Questing
have technology
Beast.
here at Card Kingdom. Questing Beast, 4 mana, 4/4, Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste. Haste, not a common card you see on green cards. So right away we're at like below rate for what would see play in Legacy, but cards like Thrun, even Siege Rhino have seen play before. Can't be blocked by creatures power 2 or less is, I would say, unlikely to ever matter in Legacy. But the spiciness of this
That
card.
definitely matters. It means it can't get blocked by Baleful Strix or the Total.
Oh, sure. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So good against the Grixis 4-color archetypes. And the line that everyone is kind of chatting about is this combat damage that would be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented. And there is a popular 1UU 3/1 in Legacy that prevents all the damage that be dealt to it. So having this ability is kind of why, especially kind of mid-range mages are discussing playing this card. Trina Nemesis being very good against mid-range green decks.
Makes it so True Name can't block any of your creatures without dying.
And then the last line is almost trinket text, although it can come up against miracles where if you're far enough out on board to attack them anyway, you do get to kill their planeswalker while probably making the clock 1 turn sooner.
Yeah, getting a little bit more damage in and being able to like kill off a Narset.
So the downside here is that this card can't block Mirran Crusader. This card can't block Trina Nemesis.
Yeah.
I
mean, but you're not
by them, but
you're not in this for blocking. You know, it has vigilance, but this card isn't here to block. This card's here to hit people in the face.
yeah, that's true. Having vigilance kind of allows it to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and
definitely difficult to block, and having haste is going to be really unfortunate against the slower control decks that like having that extra turn to deal with whatever crap you're putting.
Nice part is that it gets to just swing straight into True Name Nemesis's, and it won't die. It'll just kill it.
And trample. Well,
No
it
trample.
doesn't trample.
Nope.
So I just every time I read this card, first time I read it, I assumed it had hexproof, and then I started assuming it had trample, and now I'm just not sure that.
You want to get
Touch
Patrick
is an ability
Daly on?
that I
He
care
won his
about.
first round.
Oh, we have the next round pairings.
Yeah, table 4.
Yeah. Let's get Patrick Daly up here.
Let's see when a judge notices my hand. And when they notice my hand, we will have our
Right.
people. Patrick.
Control doesn't exist in Legacy. You know, Battle Res, I wish I could argue with you. As a control player, it would be great if I could still play my sweet fun decks, but I do think at least for the next couple of months you are correct. So for next round, it looks like we have
Yeah.
Patrick Daly
I told
versus
Patrick,
Nick Neely.
hopefully he informs his opponents. The judges do not seem to be in the general vicinity currently, so can't inform them.
Okay, well, are there any other cards or any other points of Questing Beast that we haven't addressed yet? Ren and 6 so Ren and 6 didn't eradicate control. You got to put Ren and 6 in your control decks. Amazing. There's a Renfect deck that did well in the Legacy Challenge. That was just Infect splashing Ren and 6. Get to recur your Blightsteel things.
I'm a fan.
Blighted things.
I'm super ready for this. All right.
All
Patrick
right, let's,
Daly throwing us the prayer, seeing if we're ready for it.
Standard Bomb, Fringe Modern. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that the Questing Beast is going to see play in Standard. I think that's kind of
Oh, yeah,
a given.
absolutely.
Whenever you see Haste on a green creature, that means Wizards was like, we need this to see play in Standard, right? You had Vengefine, you had...
I do not think the card is good enough for Modern or
guess that's
Legacy.
it.
Honestly, I just don't think it's pushed.
No, I don't... Like, I think it's going to be put into the Thrun bucket, where, like, Nick Fit and Maverick players are going to know that they have access to Questing Beast or Thrun or...
It doesn't go in. It doesn't
Titania
fill the
or
thing that Thrun does,
Sigarda.
though. You know.
No, it does
All right,
different
let's
things.
go head down to the
Miracles
match.
is dead, so
I
you
think
don't
our
need Hexproof.
Players are sitting down there.
Mhm.
Yep, Patrick Daly on the right.
Clearly a vintage staple. Yeah, you never know all of these nonsense standard creatures, what's going to see play in vintage and what's not. I like the Courser of Crufix as a main deckable card in vintage right now.
Ooh, big fan of that.
I've been playing Courser of Crufix plus Fastbond and Cube for years.
I'm just a big fan of Fast Bond.
I was watching, LSV did a video series playing the Fastbond Courser Crufix deck, and his opponent Force of Vigor his Courser of Crufix and his Black Lotus.
Ooh.
Like, it was, anyway.
Patrick.deck is whatever Patrick is playing. We'll find out shortly enough and give it a real name. But right now, we're just putting that up. We should be able to figure it out.
Patrick here is known for
Nick is on
all sorts of jank. Famously on As Foretold? No, Fate Entwined.
Do you know? Oh, Nick is on Rug.
Okay.
And Patrick
Shared Fate. He was on Shared Fate combo.
is on Ruby Storm. Ooh, okay.
Okay.
That's what we threw in.
So Ruby Storm is a Storm variant for people that know that is playing Ruby Medallion. Being on stream always kind of tests my knowledge of these obscure cards, and more specifically how to spell them. So Ruby Medallion makes all of your red spells cost one less, which means while it's in play, you can turn all of your bad red rituals into black rituals, or closer to black rituals. And then you have access to this card called Bonus Round that says, until end of turn, whenever a player casts an instant sorcery, that player copies it and chooses new targets for that copy. So the idea is you play Bonus Round, and then you ritual a couple of times, and then you play more bonus rounds, which are copied by your original bonus rounds. And now you're getting 6. You just get a lot of copies of a lot of things, make a lot of red mana, play Grape Shot, make some goblins.
Do you also hear a ding in your head every time someone says bonus round?
Ding.
Yeah, just a little one.
And then Nick Neely playing Rug is most likely Rug Delver, but our note just says Rug. For now, we will keep an open heart and open mind and hope that we see some volcanic islands and natural orders.
Yeah, I mean, I have to give
Something spicy.
I have to give the advantage to Nick. He has counter spells playing against a storm deck.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this is okay. So we have Mountain of bonus round, seeding songs, some rituals.
The thing in the very back is like a ruby, but it works for
Helm of
both players.
Awakening.
Helm of Awakening, correct? Yep.
Sure. So Rug variants. I've seen Rug Cascade with Crashing Footfalls.
Ooh.
I've seen Punishing Rug featuring Dak Faden.
Okay. This is
seen
Rug Delver, I bet.
all sorts of Ren and 6 non-sex. Yeah, really, Rug is just Ren and 6 with blue cards right now.
Honestly,
and that's
yeah.
that's a pretty fun thing to do. It's a pretty good thing.
Sometimes it has Ice Fang Codal.
Then your opponent flusterstorms you and you're sad. But that's right. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
really nothing you can do about that.
Accurate.
Patrick gets REBs and Overmasters.
Ooh, someone
Overmaster is
casts
a spicy one
Overmaster?
from Legacies past.
If Patrick casts Overmaster, I'm all in on Team Patrick.
As a Sneak and Show player,
Oh, this card's
have you
awful
played
in
this
Sneak
card?
and Show. This card is horrid in Sneak and Show.
You don't like it?
No, awful.
Okay. Basically a Veil of Summer that, well, actually it's almost identically Veil of Summer. Other than
Yeah.
that it's a sorcery. So you have
And
to
it only
commit to
affects the next spell, not all your spells for the turn.
Past and Flames, another good Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt is interesting.
Lightning Bolt is the
So
win.
you can
You
win with
Lightning
just a
Bolt
bunch of bonus rounds on Lightning Bolts.
Yeah, that is the win con.
So Patrick's hand does nothing, but it's got 2 Lightning Bolts, so it's going to buy him a lot of time. I see a Goyf and a Brainstorm. This does look like Rug Delver. Force of Will among the blue cards. Many blue cards in Nick's hand right now.
It looks great.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a pile of blue cards, a win condition, and maybe some lands.
Needs like a card.
Yeah, Helm of Awakening and Legacy. Why not?
Needs a draw spell, honestly.
Notably, Helm of Awakening does very little if your opponent's Rug Delver. It's going to make Tarmogoyf cost 1 less, and I think that's about the only card it
Makes
affects.
Ren and 6 cost 2. Oh no, Ren and 6 cost 2. Wait
Yeah.
a moment, that
Right.
card cost 2. Whoa.
So Nick Neely's got the one of Fiery Eyelid in his hand,
I'm a big fan of
which
these
means
egg
he
lands.
can't cast Daze. Yeah, I agree. I think that people are putting them into more and more decks and playing more and more of them, and I still think they're underplayed compared to where they're going to end up.
Yeah, I really hope they finish the cycle. Missing 4 of the 10 is kind of weird.
It is weird. You get 6. All right, so believe Nick has Force of Will up. Put another Force on top of his deck
Ooh,
with
that mountain is
Brainstorm.
exactly what Patrick wanted to rip right there.
Lotus Petal plays around Daze. This is a Helm of Obedience. We'll see if Nick wants to fight over this. Do you fight here?
I don't do anything here.
You just
Personally,
let it happen?
I don't think this is where you fight.
Patrick goes, reads my card. Humble Awakening is never ever played fairly. I've seen it played in all sorts of combo decks over the years, so I've never wanted one to resolve against me. Looks like Nick's got a Flooded Strand, so he has this choice between Tarmogoyf and Ren and 6 this turn.
Helm of Awakening / Ruby Medallion kind of card in this deck that you really do absolutely need. You don't technically need it, but Ruby Storm doesn't really function without it. So getting that down early, definitely what Patrick needs to be doing right now.
Desmaro says it's a weird card, so I'm inclined to fight, which makes sense. I mean, that's a fine rule of thumb in Delver, but especially if you're on a bunch of Spell Pierce and Daze hands, this Humble Awakening basically counters every Daze by making your spells just cost 1 less.
Yeah, and the more seasoned Legacy player can definitely pin this deck as Ruby Storm once you see Double Mountain Helm of Awakening.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm definitely in on just not letting it be around.
Well, this has got to be every Delver player's dream. A 1-mana Tarmogoyf. Look at this. I mean, it's basically Kurt Ape. How do you lose from here?
Mountain kind of brutal. Patrick really just needing like a draw spell.
How close is he
Act on impulse.
to going off here? So he can bolt this Goyf because there's an instant in the graveyard.
Yeah. He needs an Act on Impulse or something else.
Mm-hmm.
No mana or no card advantage right now.
Bolt right now. Do it. Oh, it looks like he put the other bolt back to the bottom when he mulligan.
Yeah.
So only has 1 bolt here.
I like this choice.
How good are you if the Rug player forces your bolt? Like, how good do you feel if the Rug player forces your bolt instead of forcing your Storm cards? And there's no way, like, if I'm playing Rug, I don't expect my opponent to have bolt here. Not after seeing Helm of Awakening.
Exactly.
The Brainstorm comes. Brainstorm Preordained Fetch Land. The Spell Pierce, a Ren and 6, and a Lightning Bolt. So I'm shuffling away Bolt, playing Ren and 6, returning a Fetch Land, and then next turn planning on using this Brainstorm and Preordain to try to dig for a threat. I think
Brainstorm,
it doubles every
Ponder,
bonus round he casts. Yeah. So
Nick gets the bolt.
he chose to draw the bolt. So I wonder what he shuffled away.
All right, we're
Looks
here
like
with
he
the
kept
Ren
the
and 6
fetch land
grind.
too. He shuffled away the Preordain. I don't like that at all. I think this Brainstorm shows that Nick doesn't know what he's playing against.
You know, you might not be wrong.
Maybe that Nick just isn't familiar. Because
I mean,
really, you've
so
seen
what-
Helm of Awakening and you've seen Lightning Bolt so far.
I disagree. I think that Ren and 6 right here is a fine play. It lets him get his land drop for the turn.
Ren and
that
6
he
is good.
otherwise
I
would've
think
missed.
Ren and 6 is correct. I don't like that he shuffled away the Preordain and kept the
Oh.
Lightning Bolt. I would have done it the other way.
That's fair.
That was my comment.
Okay.
Like, it's a small, minute thing, but really with these Delver decks, they kind of punish you for these.
No, you're
Oh,
right.
that's snazzy.
Yeah, that Manamorphose is exactly what he wanted to rip. This might be enough to go. Depends on the draw. Yeah, bonus round. This is enough to go.
So he has to play through Force and Spell Pierce, but unclear that Spell Pierce is going to do anything at all between the Helm and this Resolve bonus round. He just played the fetch. He hasn't shuffled yet, but it's not. I mean, he's gonna have to. He's gonna have to cast the Spell Pierce at sometime this turn.
Yeah, I think he has to cast it now.
So if you cast the Spell Pierce now, do you stop the combo, regardless of whether or not he pays for it? I believe you do.
I think you do. Yep. Looks like you do by 1. That's the problem with these Ruby Storm decks is they really do get blown out
Seething
by
Song
very
instant.
little.
He can Seething Song in response to the Spell Pierce.
Can he? Oh my goodness, you're right. I think you're right.
I think Seething Song's an instant.
That's fantastic. But he has the force, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So card is an instant. Ooh, chooses to force the bonus round, not allowing the opportunity to Seething Song.
So it looks like
keep going then.
Did he fetch? I think once the bonus round is done, then you're done.
No, because he can cast Seething Song, put himself up to 5 mana, then cast Past in Flames,
Yeah,
put himself down to 2.
You
Then
can Past in Flames, Writ.
Then he can cast
Bonus round Manamorphose, and then
Manamorphose,
Hope
Seething
and
Song.
Prayer.
Yeah, so that gives you 2 draws and lots of mana. He can keep going, but if he plays into the Spell Pierce here, it's going to be disastrous.
Yep. Here's a Brainstorm. Oh, here's a Spell Pierce. Oh, the Force pitched the Brainstorm. That makes sense. Okay.
Spell Pierce is the Seething Song.
So it really
does not reduce the cost of Spell Pierce.
Really doesn't matter the order of operations here. I think I would have liked Spell Pierce first.
I agree.
But either way, it was going to end up that all 3 blue spells would be traded for the 2 red spells. So Renin 6 is going to uptick because... So he has a Bolt in his hand when he would really love to have a Ponder or a Preordain right now.
Yeah, Patrick can actually go again.
But not punish, drew a Delver. And next turn, Renin 6 gets to start being a Phyrexian Arena impression with this Firelit, but it's unclear he's going to get another turn.
I think Patrick can win the game now. So he casts this Past in Flames. Gonna cast the Manamorphose. I think he goes.
Nick has nothing.
Yeah. We're going.
Sack Lotus Petal. Play this. Oh, he can play Manamorphose even. He doesn't need to play the Rite of Flame.
Exactly.
Very cool.
So he does need to play Rite of Flame. Or not Rite of Flame, Seething Song. Well, the Manamorphose rip is big.
Yeah, Morphling points out
so is
that
the Ancient Tomb. This is exactly what Patrick needed to rip. Absolutely. Now he can play the bonus round before playing the Seething Song.
Ooh. All right, now I'll get to play the casting game
Right.
where we try to keep up with how much mana he has.
He's being very kind to us. Has 1 red mana right now.
Oh, is he going to do
Yeah, he has
count for us too?
Hopefully.
What a guy. Oh, no, he just needed a D12. What a guy.
He has the red ritual in hand, so this will be going very well. That's the bonus round count. How many... it looks like the bonus round counts a little bit... Or that's just how he's representing. So every spell that gets 2 of them.
All right, goes to 18 up. Ancient... I don't know what Ancient Tomb is even
Taps for
doing
2
here,
mana.
but sure.
Okay. Seething Song. Here we go.
Yeah, so that's
10
going to
mana.
make 10 mana.
He still has that.
Costs 1 and makes 4 and draws you 2 cards.
It's pretty gas.
Yeah, I'm kind of in. I'm kind of in for the Divination Dark Ritual split card. Competitive role, you have to track your mana on paper and not dice. I don't think there's any... I could be wrong, but I've never heard of a requirement in competitive to track your mana on any...
It might be new, but I haven't heard of that either. I know you have to keep track of life and poison, but...
Yes.
Okay, if that is a new rule, I'm not... Okay, changed a month ago.
There you go. This is why I don't play combo decks.
Hazoret's Fury, everyone's favorite Mind's Desire.
What the Hazoret's Fury?
So it's a Mind's Desire for 4, but with bonus round, it's a Mind's Desire for 8.
Hazoret's Undying Fury.
Hmm.
This is Mind's Desire.
Yeah, that is.
Wow.
I did say Mind's Desire. Yes.
All right, let's see how many free spells Patrick gets. First one comes up. Rite of Flame.
Notably can't cast itself, but anything else in the deck it can cast.
Can you cast spells? Or artifacts, rather?
Yeah. Dope. Everything.
All right, so there's a Ruby Medallion. There's more manas. Everything now is very cheap, and there is 4 mana in his pool. Cast the Rite of Flame. Go up to 8.
No.
Maybe even up to... Oh, no, the other Rite of Flame has been exiled from Flashback. So this Rite of Flame is plus 10. No, plus 6, sorry. Up to 14.
Yeah, he has all the mana at this point. Mana is not Patrick Daly's concern.
You could Burning Wish for Reforge the Soul and draw 7.
Yeah. Curious what storm count is at, or if it even matters.
I mean, realistically, you could even just make Goblins here. Delver can't beat Goblins. He did bonus round. That was the second Undying Fury.
Yep.
Oh, he gets 2 Burning Wishes.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, no. So this ritual is plus
Yeah, so it
4
looks like
plus
he's
4
just
is
going to
8
show a
up to
Banefire.
20,
Yeah, so that's a
and then
Banefire for lethal.
Banefire for 19.
Oh, I
like
love
it.
Banefire for lethal. Banefire for lethal is great. On to game 3 we go.
So, who... It's game 2.
Oh, it's game 2.
Who
Yeah.
among us legacy aficionados shows up to a legacy event expecting to get Banefired?
Not me, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's not something on my radar.
Big fan of Banefire, though. All-time favorite cube card.
Nick didn't play to his outs. Yeah, there was a misstep there where Nick could have cantripped with the Fiery Islet, and he could have had a Preordain instead of a Lightning Bolt.
Definitely
which could have
want to
turned into
dig for more counter
any card in
spells.
Magic. Especially since Patrick did tap out on his combo turn, even a Daze would have allowed Nick to take another turn. So, I believe that it's just unfamiliarity with the matchup. Once you see Lightning Bolt's kind of a mid-range card.
It's very
So
fair.
it could be that card threw him off. It certainly would have thrown me
You
off.
don't expect people to storm off after they play Lightning Bolt, especially if you're newer to the game or the format.
Do you want Wasteland? You did see Ancient Tomb. I think I'm boarding down to like 2
Wasteland has to
Wastelands.
come out for sure.
We saw Ancient Tomb though.
It's not enough, in my opinion.
So I'm cutting at least 2 Wastelands. I think I'm cutting
Looks like Nick
all but
agrees.
1 Ren and 6.
Wastelands
Oh, he's playing
I
a
saw
crop
leaving.
rotation. So he's playing the brand new
Yeah.
build of this deck with the sideboard Karakas and Bajuka Bog.
I saw Force of Negation in Nick's board or in Nick's deck as well, so that'll lend to a
Surgical
lot better
Extraction
game.
is good against Past and Flames.
I have a feeling Nick has to be like pretty ahead after post board.
Yeah, I'll come the Bolts, I'll come the True Names, I'll come the Ren and 6, I'll come some Wastelands. Yeah, so I like Nick's sideboard. I like all the decisions he's made. I haven't the faintest idea what Patrick could be doing. Have to imagine there's some Blood Moons on the horizon.
Oh, there's gotta be, right?
You're playing red.
Yeah.
You may as well get your free wins, especially in a ritual deck.
Blood Moon is a great card.
Pyro and Red Blast, sure, also good options. Yeah, speaking of Overmaster, the way that game 1 played out, there was never really a good time for Patrick to cast Overmaster.
Overmaster's a bad card.
Because he was kind of a 1 mana margin on every turn.
Yeah.
Interesting. Although it does draw you a card, which means it's pretty stinking good with bonus round.
Kinda. It doesn't make more things uncounterable, though. It still makes only that
Yeah,
next
but it
spell you
draws
cast.
you 2 cards.
Yeah, but so does Manamorphose, and that makes you mana.
Metamorphose is insane with bonus round. Oh, man.
Manamorphose is just a good
1
card.
mana, add 4 red to your mana pool, draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
How do you... That's just... How... Wow. Just incredible.
You know, you could be doing that in Modern. Used to be a deck in Modern
This is
that played
why-
Thing in the Ice and Pyromancer Ascension.
This is why when they create cards, they intend them to only be cast once per cast, instead of twice.
It's fair.
I should work for R&D. I have such a deep understanding of Magic. He likes Overmaster and Rev exactly because of the card draw. Sure. Yeah, I mean, the way that deck played out, he wasn't playing into counter Magic. His limiting resource was cards. It wasn't mana. And so that cantrip on Overmaster, once you've like resolved the bonus round, your opponent has nothing.
Yeah.
'Cause if they did, your bonus round.
Being a red deck in general, this deck's this is a mulligan.
Double Burning Wish, Rite of Flames, Hazardous Fury. I don't know what the card that is with the flames on it.
It was the new art for whatever the ritual with splice is.
Wow, we're really jogging my memory today.
It's tough, man.
Rite of Flame is the one that counts the graveyard.
Yep. Pyretic Ritual is the one that doesn't have splice. This is the one with Desperate Ritual. Yeah. There we go. So that's the new
Oh,
art
I
for
hate
Desperate
this
Ritual.
art. Oh, I hate it.
You don't like the Kamigawa Block Goblin? I really like Kamigawa Goblins. Not gonna lie.
No.
They're kind of adorable.
Look, I don't want goblins performing
They look like kobolds.
I'm just gonna yell at people to get off my lawn my entire life.
I don't blame you.
But Red Ritual has never really had. I mean, there's the one where you sack a creature and it had the guy jumping into the lava waterfall. That art was awesome.
Big fan.
But okay, so we got Parachuters with Lotus Petals. There's no land in this hand, but it's got a lot of mana.
This hand
I
does
mean, we're
things.
definitely mulliganing it.
I don't know. I'd
but,
keep it.
What?
Oh
You're
yeah,
gonna go Lotus Petal, Helm of Awakening, get dazed.
in a heartbeat.
and then
Honestly,
lose.
I totally would. I'd keep this.
We'll see if Patrick agrees with you here.
I just wait for a land.
So Nick's got 2 forces, a land, a Hydroblast.
Yeah, goes down.
That's the art from the dual decks. It's the art from. It's also Ultimate Masters. That was the art we put up. But
Nick has 3 counter spells in his hand. I have a feeling Patrick's gonna have a hard time this game.
oh yeah, once you kind of know what's happening, then you kind of get to play your Delver versus combo matchup is very good.
Yeah, we'll
Plus-
see if he picked up on the fact that you really do need those artifacts. So we'll see if Nick decides that those artifacts are worth countering.
Oh, that's true. Well, unclear if Nick even brought in. He probably has Ancient Grudge or a Braid, or Back to Nature, Return to Nature rather.
Tragedy. Looks like Nick lost his pen for his boogie board.
But not not obvious that you need to bring an artifact here. I love this Grixis versus Ruby Storm matchup because you just get a Kolaghan's command him to death with him under him to Torak. Oh, anyway,
I'm glad Patrick is showing us a good hand right here.
there's no red source in this hand.
You don't need red sources. That's what Lotus Petal is for.
I don't think you can mulligan it again, but
Oh yeah, no way.
I'm not excited. Keep the Metamorphose because it undoes your mulligan.
Man, this is a quality example of a Pax mat too. This is how Pax mat should be done. You like that Space Needle photoshopped in?
Yeah, I think this is my favorite PAX mat. I went to PAX this year. I just wasn't impressed with the playmat. I mean, the
Yeah,
stained glass
I
arts
agree.
are cool, but I just don't.
I think they look
Identify
kind of
those now.
lazy to me.
There it is.
We
Off
did
the
it.
top for Patrick.
Go team.
Basic Mountain.
Team rip the top of the deck.
The other
That's another
interesting-
force of will for Nick.
The other interesting part about Ruby Storm right now is that every mid-range deck is playing Hydroblast to try to blow up Ren and 6, and so you're have to fight through way more Hydroblast than you normally would.
It's very fair. That Wasteland staying in, Patrick definitely not the happiest in the world about that.
Yeah, the one-lane Ancient Tomb hand. But this is why you leave some number of him in, even if it's just kind of a 1-for-1, kind of the old back in the day how we used to play Wasteland before
Indeed.
we had a 2-mana Crucible of the Worlds
Okay, I accept that.
/ Forked Bolt / spend 7 you in the game.
Patrick's wondering if it's worth it to just go, and I think with this mono red storm deck, it's always worth it to go if you can.
If
Just
you go,
because.
you lose.
Do you lose though, or do you
you're
just have to
gonna get
stock up again?
wastelanded, and I mean, you can I guess you can play it
See,
and cast Seething Song.
this deck doesn't have any hand disruption to draw into or counter spells to draw into other than Overmaster, but Overmaster is.
I think I like Ancient Tomb, Manamorphose.
I'm in for Seething Song.
Seething Song.
I think this is
Seething
better.
Song just walks into so many more things. He's gonna get paid off for it because Nick doesn't have any soft counters.
I really don't like countering this, honestly. I think it's a bad choice.
Because you only have hard counters.
Yeah.
I would let it resolve.
I would let it
agree.
resolve too. Counter the bonus round.
I don't like the tapping 3 mana into the Daze and Spell Pierce deck, but it did work out for. Ooh, Spell Pierce off the top. So now Patrick will get punished. You Wasteland. You snap Wasteland here.
Oh yeah,
Whoa.
that's questionable. All right, well we're gonna throw another
he
Seething
can't
Song
even
out.
Use the mana. Is he maybe Nick doesn't have a win condition, and so he's going
This
to
Ancient
see
Tomb is being
How much-
proxy Delver swings for now.
how much damage he can get out of this Ancient
I still
Tomb.
don't like countering this. Maybe it's better with the soft counter, but it's
I like
still
Spell
doesn't feel
Piercing
great.
it. I don't like Hydroblasting it.
That's fair. I
'Cause-
accept that.
If you don't Spell Pierce the Seething Song, you're probably not Spell Piercing anything that turn. Land off the top, Wasteland. So, last turn, Patrick hadn't missed a land drop yet. Yeah, but now Nick knows Patrick's missing a land drop.
Indeed.
Wait, what did he draw?
He drew
He doesn't have a spell, right?
a trop.
Yeah, but he's tapping it.
Not sure. Ripped the Lotus Petal. What do you think? I think we play the Wish off this. Maybe we wait. I don't like waiting. I like wishing for something to get us out of this rut.
See, I would use Manamorphose as my bait spell in this deck, but that's because I think Manamorphose is the least innocuous. But
Maybe.
from Patrick's side, it's also the one you most want to resolve.
Yeah, Manamorphose is the card you want to be casting after bonus round, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I was going for it again. Make 2 mana.
I mean, I don't blame him. He's baited 2 counterspells out of Nick's hand, but he has got to know that Nick only has counterspells right now.
Yeah, Nick's got one more.
Yeah, Nick waiting a bit longer. Draws a
guess I'll-
card. What is it? It's a land. Miss
Nick's
Patrick.
got 3 cards. I believe they are Force of Will, Force of Will, Force of Negation. So he could have left the Wasteland to play to hardcast the Force of Negation.
That sounds pretty accurate. I still don't like leaving the Wasteland in play. Cast the Wish. This has got to get countered, correct?
Oh, he's got 4 cards. I'm not sure what the 4th card is.
Negation. Ooh, that does exile the Wish. Let's hope they notice that because it matters.
Yeah, a lot in
Right.
this Pass and Flame strategy. We'll see if we can get somebody on our table's attention to tell them
Judge.
to exile the Wish. Okay, we have a Tarmogoyf. I like
Wish should
playing
be
the
exiled.
Tarmogoyf out last turn
Wish
since
should
all
be
you have
exiled.
are free counter
The Wish
spells.
should be exiled.
We'll get the players caught up here. What do you think about holding the Tarmogoyf back a turn when your protection is just double force? I would definitely... Oh, you know what? It may be that he wanted to wait till his sorcery entered the graveyard so that he could protect it from Lightning Bolt. And then he
Maybe.
got his wish with that Rite of Flame. So,
But the Rite of Flame isn't in the yard.
it is.
Oh, no, the Rite of Flame
The
is
Rite
in
of
the yard.
Flame is.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
All right.
Rite of
Actually,
Flame is an instant.
I changed my mind. I think that's a heads-up play.
Rite of Flame is an instant, I believe. Oh, man, I'm wrong on so many things. Look at me.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know how to play
Rite of
Magic
Flame's
at
the
all.
weird one. Like, that's the one sorcery. Everything else is an instant.
Yeah.
But I think that's a heads-up play from Nick trying to... He's playing scared around Lightning Bolt because he got bolted in the first game. And he's getting somewhat rewarded. Patrick
Yeah,
has a Lightning Bolt in his hand.
Definitely does.
Remember back in the day when Patrick had no lands in his hand? And
I
now
did.
he's just flooded as all get out. Also, what do you think of these mountains from Patrick?
I'm a big fan of the loop land.
Look, all of Nick's lands have the same art. That's all I'm trying to say.
I don't blame the multiple art, you know? Sometimes you gotta be spicy.
I like the Hour of Devastation lands where the sun is centered in the horns. And I don't
Okay.
know why you'd ever play an Amonkhet land. Because I believe he has one Amonkhet and one Hour of Devastation. I think he has one off-center sun and one centered sun in those mountains. And
That
that's
would
just-
make Patrick Daly a monster.
That's just... I mean, I could see the mismatching art, but come on now. Don't make it that bad.
Patrick Daly just doing his casual one draw turn.
Yeah, ripping lands off the top, just like we drew it up.
Scoops it up, goes to game 3. Decides he's not getting anywhere anytime soon.
Armadillo says, if you're afraid of losing, you probably shouldn't be playing Mono Red in Legacy.
I'd say that's accurate.
I mean, Patrick won his first round, so
Mono red is not what you play to win in Legacy.
Patrick has more lifetime wins today, more wins today than I do in my lifetime
That's impressive.
playing Mono Red Storm. So I'll defer to him as being the de facto expert. Let's see. Nick boarded out his bolts. Yeah, so he's boarding in Wastelands.
Really?
I believe that was the card. Yeah, he decides he'd rather
I think
have
that's-
Wasteland than Ren in 6.
I think that's the kind of thinking that people get trapped into a lot, where you see what did well for you and then board in that.
Mhm.
I don't think the Wasteland is good.
He did bring in Ancient Grudge. I like bringing in Wasteland because he still had Ren in 6 in his deck.
Grudge
I think
coming in
Wasteland's
definitely
better than
helps.
Ren in 6.
Is it good enough though? Because like
I
Ren
don't
and 6 still has the Eggland payoff and it has fetches to pay off with, and like, are
Looping
you?
Fiery Islet's basically lights out against this deck.
Yeah. What are the odds that you like get to Wasteland twice? You know?
If it were me, I think I would have boarded down to 1 Ren in 6 and down to 2 Wastelands.
I agree.
But
with that.
I don't know how his deck is configured because you definitely want to cut True Name, you want to cut Lightning Bolt, and then
I'd say
everything
Lightning
else is
Bolt.
kind of up in the air.
I'm more in for Lightning Bolt than I am for Wasteland or Ren and 6.
You often shave a Trop, and I believe Nick did cut a Tropical Island in this game since he was on the draw. I think that was another card that he took out.
Got to be ready for the moons. Also a possibility.
Well, you don't need all the lands in a matchup that's not interacting with your mana base.
Mhm.
Delver's built to like interact with other Delver, with Maverick, with lands. Like it's
Yeah.
built to be a
To
consistent
be
deck.
Wastelanded. No, I'm aware.
And so
Yeah.
whenever you're playing against a deck that's not interacting with your mana, you can go ahead and just shave a dual land. Let's see. The Fiery Islet probably implies he's playing 2 Volcanic and 3 Trop, but it might just be 3, 3, and 1, or it could be any number of mix. When I play this, my personal mix is 2 Trop and 1 Foil Breeding Pool, because I'm immortal and I don't have 4 copies of every card in the format. Let's see how this is going up. So we didn't see any sideboard cards from Patrick. Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds accurate. I didn't see him bringing in anything new. He seemed to be looking at it, deciding if he wanted something new, but I agree with not wanting something new.
We didn't see Overmaster. We didn't see Blood Moon. Raging Quizo, round 1 was Chris Van Meter's Blackguard Reanimator versus Mike Kiesel's Dark Depths. And Mike did win that one off of double Elvish Reclaimer in game 3.
Gotta love the beats.
Gotta love the beats. Let's see here. Patrick's ready to go. Patrick knows what he's about.
Is
He goes,
Stifle run specifically to mess with fetches and wastelands? The answer is yes. That is exactly what it is run for.
Mhm. Yep.
You can like do some fun things, stifling storm triggers, stifling planeswalker ultis, but other than that, it's mainly there for fetches.
If you go look at the 5-0 leagues this week, there was a 4-color Ren-based control deck playing 3 Stifle just as a mid-range card.
That's
My
pretty
guess
hot.
would be to shore up the Dark Depths matchup, which is abysmal.
Ooh.
Stifle's really good in that matchup.
Patrick Daly looking like he has a pretty hot hand.
Well, the Ancient Tombs are there to cast the rubies.
Yeah.
This hand is phenomenal for Patrick.
Nick had 0 land, so that's a pretty easy mulligan.
Flashback the madness that is ever morphing form. Anyway, we have Commander decks here at our card camp. I'm not plugging Commander. All right, moving back to the round in front of us. Nick's mulling to 6. Patrick Daly has quite a good hand. He's got turn 1 Ruby into probably a turn 2 kill, barring interaction. Nick didn't choose to fight over the Ruby in the first game. We'll see if he chooses to this time.
Oh, did we say that Stifle was good in depths? Did I say that?
It's good against depths.
Oh, no, it's not.
Sure it is.
What do you
Time
stifle?
Walk. The
Time walk?
yeah,
it's
the
whatever.
that's mean stage activation. And then they just sit there with a bunch of tap lands, and then you get to interact with them at sorcery speed, which is really all Grixis wants to do because they can't do it at instant speed.
Doesn't seem great, but I don't play Stifle, so I wouldn't know. I will be going to Eternal Weekend. Fun fact.
Nice. All right, turn 1. Ruby Medallion. Does Nick choose to fight? He goes, hold up. Let's resolve, and the Lotus Petal. This has got to be a turn 2 kill from Patrick.
I hope so.
Nick needs to show me what's in his hand.
Patrick doesn't really have many cards that draw cards, so he might be stuck here because he only has Manamorphose and nothing else that does something.
I believe Nick has a Hydroblast.
Yeah, that'll probably stop Patrick for a little bit at least.
Mm-hmm.
Stifling the Dark Depths trigger does nothing, by the way.
You can't stifle Dark Depths trigger because it's a rules interaction.
Yeah, it'll just trigger again after it goes off the stack.
But you can stifle the Thespian stage activation.
You can do that.
In addition to fetch lands. And
I guess you can stifle sacking the 2-1 as well.
you can stifle the Elvish Reclaimer activation, and they have to sack the land as part of the cost.
Okay, you know what? I don't hate Stifle against Depths.
Well,
I've been convinced.
My thought was that it's an abysmally poor matchup for Grixis, and so running any number of cards to kind of help you in any way you can.
Yeah. No, I see where you're
it's gonna
coming
be
from with
helpful.
it. It's not great, but it's not, like, the worst.
Especially since these nonsense Dark Depths decks are now playing like Hexmage and Confidant and Elvish Reclaimer and Dryad Arbor, and your previous interaction was Diabolic Edict, which just does nothing now.
Yeah, you can stifle the Dark Depths. It just doesn't do what you want it to do, or what you would think it would do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Dark Depths is a state trigger. So if at any point it has 0 counters, the game is going to, every time it checks the game state, it's going to trigger.
Yep.
So you can stifle it again, but the next time priority happens and state
And it's not on the
checks,
track
it will immediately
stack,
trigger
yeah.
again. Nick has a blue card in his hand. I bet it's the EMA Hydroblast.
I really like Tyrant Scorn, actually. I think Tyrant Scorn is underplayed.
I'm playing a 2 of Tyrant Scorn on my Grixis list right now.
I'm a fan of
I
that.
liked it.
It seems great.
I'm playing 2 Tyrant Scorn, 1 Engar's Rampage. At Grixis. Yeah. I'm definitely here for it. I am back on Grixis. Okay, we're
time.
going off.
Here's the mana. Let's see what
It's
we
always that
draw.
uncomfortable feeling when your opponent gets to die and he just lets it happen. He doesn't
It's a
fight.
ritual.
I can see not fighting. I guess the card you want to fight over is bonus round.
Yeah, bonus round or this
Or
Wish.
Passion Flames. I wouldn't fight over Wish.
I'd fight over Wish.
But there's a Desperate Ritual. The new art with the Aki.
Okay. You always have to be aware that this Ruby Storm deck can just at some point make goblins for like 10. And if they do that when you're not ready for it, your Force of Will won't be enough, you know?
That's true. The 3-color Delver deck doesn't have access to the Plague Engineer. So if you're gonna fight over something, you fight over Passing Flames, right?
I still think fighting over Wish is correct here.
Huh. Actress got Mana Flooding. Maybe the card I saw wasn't Hydroblast. Maybe Nick just can't fight. He certainly has the body language of someone that is dead.
That could be the case. Throws out the Wish. What are we going to wish for?
Yeah, if he's not picking up his hand in response to Wish. If that's not a read that he has nothing, I don't know
Yeah,
what it is.
Ruby Storm should have an empty in the sideboard to wish for. I'd be surprised if Patrick does not.
It's just so free.
It is, really.
It just sits a one of in your sideboard slot, and it turns so many hands into kills. Like this one. Like he doesn't have a bonus around here. He's
Yeah.
out of mana. He's out of cards, but he can just make 8 or 12 goblins. It is a good actor kept elusive. I don't think anyone's this good of an actor because at some point you're losing the game in order to sell the bluff.
That's fair.
Like you can't let Burning Wish and Passing Flames. You needed to fight it in one of those two junctures.
Oh, he's going to go for the Hazoret's Fury instead.
No, I take that back. If you have Flusterstorm, then you can let Burning Wish resolve.
I guess. I don't know. Patrick can still let a fair amount of them resolve just off of the mana he has. Tapping, seems to be using all the mana in his pool. Casting Hazoret's Fury. No bonus round going, so we'll just see 4 cards.
Oh!
Alright.
What?
The actor. Give this man an Emmy.
I mean, if he has it now, Patrick's hand is Mountain.
Yeah.
He was just like, I'll wait to see if you tap another Ancient Tomb.
Oh,
There
the
it is.
Flusterstorm.
What is that? That's Flusterstorm?
Yeah, it's the topper.
Okay, sure.
It's the topper for Modern Horizons.
Sure.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
All the credit. So he's just going through, and that, yeah, marvelous. Bravo. A+ acting. He sat there, identified what he was going to counter.
Yeah, we'll move it down before the next round. It's 18-14 currently.
Yeah, that was the card I identified as Hydroblast. And yeah, he could have fought really at any point in that turn, but he wanted to get the maximum value out of the card. I still would have fought over Pass.
Flusterstorm definitely makes it a lot safer to not fight over the Wish.
Let's see. So, but if you look at Patrick's graveyard, he's just got Flashback, Passing Flames into Hazoret's Fury next turn. Can you do both? Not quite. I think one ritual allows him to just cast it again next turn. Which
I
wouldn't
hope
have happened
so.
if he'd fought over Burning Wish.
Oh, Hazoret's
Oh, he
Fury?
boarded the True Names back in. That was the card he brought back in. I
That
don't like
seems
that.
very questionable.
Yeah, I would rather have a Wasteland or Ren and 6 over a True
Maybe
Name.
it's because it pitches as a blue card over Tarmogoyf, but
But
that just doesn't seem good.
You know what? Nick's a better actor than I am, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt here. Also, he has a fetch land to shuffle it away, which is the great thing about sideboarding in Delver decks is you can just leave bad cards in and you don't get punished.
Oof.
Put that True Name back in the deck. It did happen in game 2 that he had 3 blue cards for 2 forces. So you had force, and 1 additional blue card. So it
Yeah.
may just be that he realized his blue count was too low for the number of forces he had. Because everyone kind of knows the old rule of thumb math that you play 18 blue cards for 4 forces, but how many do you have to play for 6 forces?
Not sure.
Rotating format, ladies and gentlemen. Everything always changes in Legacy.
Yeah, Patrick's lands won't be exerted.
Exerted?
Yeah, so
Sorry, what?
that entire cycle actually exerts your lands, basically. I think it's that cycle at least.
Lands
Yeah.
you control don't. Okay, so it is part of like the Bantu's Last Reckoning cycle. All right. Yeah, I've never seen that card. I'm familiar with the black and blue ones, but not that one.
Mm-hmm.
Did he just fetch and get nothing? No, he got a drop. He had 2 lands. He went Brainstorm, fetch Brainstorm. Or he got a Volcanic, rather. So
Looking around in the hand. Still doesn't have a clock in play.
There's a True Name in his hand again. Also, Tarmogoyf and a mystery card that I believe is a second Tarmogoyf.
You know,
Patrick draws Brick.
every turn that Nick sits there and does nothing is another draw for Patrick. So I really like Patrick's very in this game.
I
Still.
believe Patrick is 1 mana away from going for it again.
Honestly,
He might even be able to go for it this turn.
yeah, he's short of red if he does. But
He can play a mountain from hand.
well, he has the 3rd tomb. He'd rip that for turn.
Yeah. So Passing Flames Flashback costs 4 after the Ruby. Hazoret's Last Fury costs 5, and there's a Desperate Ritual. So
Oh, actually, there is a Desperate Ritual. He's not short of red. You're right.
So he can pay for sack the pedal to play Desperate Ritual, and then he has 1, 2, 3.
Leaving himself with a colorless off this, we
I
believe.
guess he has it. I think he's a mana short, but I might be bad at it. Oh, he's got Ancient Tomb,
Yeah,
of course.
got Ancient Tomb.
27 blue cards for 6/4, so that's too many. At that point, I'm just putting Painter Serve
You know,
in
he
my
actually
deck.
doesn't even need to play Ancient Tomb. He can play Mountain.
All right, force the flashback, Passion Flames. Nick Neely is actually fighting at an appropriate choke point this time instead of poker facing his way all the way to max value.
I don't know. I like the poker face.
Do you activate this waste? I don't.
I do.
You activate it?
What else are you doing with it?
Leave it in play. He's at 10.
He's got 2 Wastelands in
See if you can
otherwise.
trick him into tapping 3 Ancient Tombs.
That seems questionable.
Yeah, you're right.
Disagrees with you, though.
No,
Agrees with you, though. Sorry.
Yeah, he's picking up the Wasteland.
Yep.
She has Goyf. Why did not play the Goyf instead of the Brainstorm that he was going to pitch to Tuner? I don't think he passed with 2 mana up. I think he only had 1. But, okay, yeah, he only had 1 mana up when he passed. Oh, you mean instead of the second Brainstorm? I have no idea, to be honest. I wasn't tracking his hand that closely. The mystery card in his hand was Goyf, so I gotta believe this is a 1-turn clock.
Indeed.
I don't think you tap out here unless it's a 1-turn clock.
Numbers looking good.
The last card in his hand is that Wasteland.
Oh, not quite a 1-turn clock.
Wow, they're
Patrick's
only
sitting at 10.
3/4. Wow. Pardon me.
That is a ritual that will do nothing for Patrick.
Yeah, the Passion Flames is gone, so.
This next swing turns him, or basically stone raids him twice, though.
Yep.
Gets rid of 2 Ancient Tombs by swinging for 6. Draws another Tarmogoyf. Yep.
See, now, yeah, okay. It's like, I guess it doesn't matter. You're splitting hairs at that point. I just would have saved it to draw to put back off Brainstorm, but with
Yeah.
exactly 1 turn left in the game,
This game's over.
it's not going to matter very much.
Doesn't really matter. Patrick looking for the rip. The bolt is not the rip he needed.
I like that. I've never seen anyone turn their Ancient Tombs over before. It's a good memory aid. Stops you from accidentally tapping them.
I'm a
I like
fan.
it.
Yeah, Patrick mulling over what he can do at some point.
And he could have identified that he was playing double Goyf, which means that running 1 out a turn earlier doesn't change the clock.
Yeah.
And
Swings in for 6. Chooses to
Patrick, the fighter till the
ritual.
end.
The madman doing it. Cast reset, no reset.
Oh, don't get the
Dies to
dice
tombs
out.
on the stack. Bolts himself. Game over. What a blessing. Patrick Daly, everyone.
He gets the dice out for the maximum troll with lethal on the stack. Good grief.
Welcome back. End of round 2 here. A little bit low on time in the round, so I doubt we're going to go looking for a backup.
I got 9 minutes left.
We're going to take a short break. We'll be back in 5 minutes or so. We have 2 rounds left of Legacy, so don't go anywhere. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm sorry, we got caught up watching a Brea pod deck, and I really want to put it on now. So
Yeah,
I
we
think
have some
might.
spicy decks in the room.
It just drew, so it's 101.
I saw Brea Pod. We saw Miracles Splash Run in 6. We saw a Food Chain list playing just a bunch of cards that I didn't recognize.
This is great, honestly. These decks are hilarious.
All right, Chow, what do you want to see? Do you want to see Brea Pod featuring Brea, Goblin Welder, and Birthing Pod? Or do you want to see Miracles Splashing Run in 6
The Brea
featuring
pod deck has
Ren and
Tezzeret,
6.
Agent of Bolas.
Okay, but Miracles has Ren and 6 in it. And it's Savannah against a deck with Choke.
I see a lot of people saying pod.
I see 0, okay.
I see straight up just like many
It's a good
pods.
thing we already
so
told
we're
them to bring us
100%
pods, so-
putting pod. Did you tell them, Leo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ren and
Yeah.
6 is, excuse me.
This pod deck is sweet. I think y'all are in for a treat on this one. This one's actually fantastic.
Okay.
I'm really excited to watch this.
And I think I sold all my Birthing Pods when, I don't remember what prompted me to sell them. I was playing
Did it get banned?
Pog Nitfig. No, I think I moved to Seattle and started playing against actual, like, real Legacy players.
Oh, okay, that's reasonable, I guess.
But, oh man. Pod is a sweet Magic card.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I played it in a Bug Shell. I don't know what this deck is going to do because I don't think I saw green mana. Could be interesting. I think Chris needs to carry a number around so we can call him Wessel and 6.
So here's the deal. It doesn't have green mana, but it has 4 copies of Astrolabe. So, like,
That's
does it
the type
really
of
matter?
green mana. Yeah. I would be fine being known as Wessel and 6. I'm actually okay with that moniker. Anyway, so our players are still going to time and still cleaning
rounds
up.
just ratchet.
So
Wrapping up. That
we
was
will-
negative 5 minutes.
yeah, we're going through. We had a lot of. Let's see, the matches that are still going were Ren Miracles versus Enchantress, Agrolome versus Stoneblade, Brea Pod versus Food Chain, and I think that's it. But if that's not enough sweet legacy decks for one city, I don't know what.
Yeah,
is.
the Brea Pod Astrolabe. The Brea Pod deck is an Astrolabe deck.
He was welding in and out Astrolabes to draw cards.
Just
Oh,
2 Astrolabes
so
and
good.
Welder says tap draw card. Oh, baby. I'm so excited.
sacking Astrolabes to Brea and then using Welder to put him back in.
Mm-hmm.
How do you lose? How do you lose from there, realistically?
I don't think you do.
What percentage of our audience do you think knows what Brea does? Is that a legacy card, do you think? We can call that a legacy
Brea
staple?
sacrifices artifacts, right?
Mhm.
I don't know what else it does.
Oh, it's a legacy staple. It's a sacrifice. Oh, 2 artifacts. There you go. 2 for the price of 1. Get some value up here. So it comes into play, gets you some Thopters,
Wow, it just gets to bolt things.
and then it basically has a larger Umezawa's Jitte attached to it.
Gross.
Isn't it? Brea and EDH. Yeah, this card does really dumb things in EDH. But we're seeing it in Legacy. But it's not the first EDH general we've seen in Legacy. We've seen Atraxa. We've seen Vile Smasher the Fierce.
Ooh, big fan of Vile Smasher.
Mhm.
Vile Smasher decks used to be a lot more popular.
And you could Fire Blast people and they take
Mhm.
10.
Vile,
So good.
oh man, I miss Vile
Gurmag
Smasher.
Angler 'em
Casting
for
Gurmag
7 in
Angler, playing the
face.
Miracle Bolt.
Yes. Miracle Bolt that does 11 with the trigger.
I
So
believe
good.
so. Oh man.
What other EDH generals have seen play in EDH? Tassiger.
Oh, Tassiger for sure.
Kess.
Kess isn't a real Magic card.
I saw somebody play a Throne EDH, but we don't need to count that. Yeah, Shifting Cloud caught up with Kess. Kess is a great Magic card.
Kess is like
Kind of
wannabe
dwarfed with
Snapcaster.
kind of the newer options. What do you mean wannabe Snap? Kess is the teacher of Snapcaster. Tess is the monastery mentor to Snapcaster's young.
I'm pretty sure that's
Pyromancer.
Tiago Chan.
That. Oh, I see what you did there, and I respect it. Marin seen playing Legacy.
Oh, that's
Sure.
fair. No, Marin's sweet. You're right.
Sigarda out of the old Maverick list when people cared about sacrificing permanents.
Kess doesn't have a world champion Magic player's face on its card, so I don't really
I mean,
know what you're
that's
talking
what
about
you
on that one. Oh, Titania. That's played in lands
Don't tell
rarely.
me there's more than one Kess. I don't know Kess's subtitle.
Dissident Mage. Kess M.
I'll figure it out.
It tries.
That looks like a world championship.
Yeah, that
player to
card's Spanish.
me. You know what? This is just Scryfall's API.
There we go. That's English.
Oh, fascinating. I can look up cards in other languages.
That's actually kind of sweet. We want Leo, by the way. Cool. Brea control versus mono red prison. I'm
Yes.
so ready.
Look at this one.
This is gonna
Worm
be a-
Spiral Machine.
Oh.
All right. I'm sorry. I just had to test out the API. This is my favorite Magic card name. What? You took it away.
Yeah.
Can you make them the Russian foil version? I don't think we can turn on Russian foils, nor
Yeah,
do we
we-
have a Cyrillic
We can't type in
keyboard.
Cyrillic. We would have to do it with the Windows API to get Cyrillic characters one at a time. All right. Pairings are all up. We're just gonna wait for our players
Do you want
to
to fill out the information?
sit down soon. We're gonna have Leo
Looking for his name. Looking for it. Zoeckler.
Zoeckler.
ZOE. There he is.
Who's Leo gonna be against? Oh, do we know?
Versus, I don't know. Did you say Mono Red Painter?
No, Mono Red Prison.
Ian McCarthy is playing Prison. It could be him. And I think it is. Oh no, we have 2 Prison players. So
Okay, we'll find out soon.
it may also be Clark here, but the first spell you play card. Once Upon a Time is not a good card. Okay, first of all, I'm going to use this platform to talk to Raging Quizo about Once Upon a Time. You know what
okay.
this card does?
Oh, card's fantastic.
It reads Worst Impulse,
Mhm.
and if it's the worst spell you played in the game, you get to play it for free, which is insane because the payoff is you get to cast Impulse. It's not a good payoff. It's not worth the deck building cost. It's good in decks that want Impulse, but the line that says it's the first spell of the game.
Who? Who's his opponent? Perfect. Nailed it.
The line that says you can cast it for free may as well be Trinket Text. I don't think it's exciting.
I think you're thinking about it wrong. I don't think that Once Upon
I'm
a
going to call you
Time.
Raging Quizo, Justin.
I don't think Once Upon a Time is going to be doing anything fair. I think that Once Upon a Time is
It
going
has to do things fair. It only finds lands and creatures.
Neobrand, modern.
That is a deck that just wants Impulse.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in. Card's good.
Okay.
I was just thinking in the context of Legacy because this is a Legacy stream every Monday night right here on twitchtv.com/Card Kingdom from 6:30 to 9.
But you know what? It's a modern
We are
stream
having-
every Thursday night.
Yes, come and join us for Modern every Thursday night, 6:30 Pacific time, where we have. Would you call Modern hard hitting?
I would call modern hard hitting currently.
Okay. Hard hitting Modern action. The benefit of that format is you get to play the brand new standard cards more often in it. So you get to play Once Upon a Time. Doesn't even play the revealed creature, it just puts it in your hand. Thank you, Void Lily. If Once Upon a Time played the creature, if it would just search your top 5, find a number cool, put it on the battlefield, then I would hate it.
I'd be a big fan of that card then.
I'm out. Yeah, you could put it in your green show and tell deck.
Oh, I totally would. Honestly, I might be checking around.
I want
with
if this is the first spell of the game to cast, you can play it, but then not give it a mana cost. It's just a brick every turn after that.
All right,
It could be
heading
a
down to the
3-mana
match.
mana rock, like Serum Powder is. All right, let's see what we
Oh,
got here.
I got him on the wrong side, but bless the Card Kingdom, Matt.
4C Brea Pod. So this is a new one to me. Yep. We oh, can you move the playmat closer too? Thank you.
You mean
Or
the
play iPad?
iPad closer?
Can you move the iPad closer? Sorry, chat. Great. So here's what's happening here. We're seeing Brea, and among the cards in this deck are Snow-Covered Lands, Arkham's Astrolabe, Goblin Welder, Brea, and Birthing Pod, and that's all I know. I have to assume that there's maybe some Baleful Strixes. Seems plausible.
Yeah.
Probably some cantrips.
Maybe a green-blue Baleful Strix?
All right, there's a Blood Moon. There's a Chrome Mox. There's a 3-ball. There's not a Soul Land. So I think this is a mulligan for me, and I don't think he has any lands.
God, this deck is sweet.
On the other side, we have Prismatic Vista in a 4-color deck. Is that sure?
You can change a user icon? Whoa.
I thought you had to, like, pay to subscribe to a stream. To get it. I have no idea.
That might be a truth.
Oh, he's keeping. Oh, and
I see
here-
a Thragtusk in Leo's hand, and I'm
Leo-
already on board.
Wow.
The train is here. I see
So-
a Thragtusk and a Welder. And
Leo's
is
forced
that a
to get a basic.
that
which
is a
would be good.
Thoughtcast? Oh no, that's not a thought. That's a Aether Spellbomb.
Why
Okay.
is there an Aether spell?
So
What
for
has
anyone
happened?
that doesn't know what Aether Spellbomb is,
It's good against Merit Lage.
it is good against Merit Lage. You're not wrong. That's Aether Spout. What? This is what I get.
Yeah, it's really good with Goblin Welder. It's just unsummon, but it's an artifact, so you get some synergy that way.
Can also draw a card.
This Prismatic Vista, accidentally very good against the Blood Moon deck. Even in the blind, it gets you basics. So there
Gotta
you go.
love it. I mean,
Chalice-
honestly, all of these Astrolabe decks are good against Blood Moon
Well,
decks.
Chalice the One just shut off Astrolabes.
Yeah, Chalice on 1 is big.
So, but it looks like he has a follow-up Prismatic Vista.
Yeah,
to
this
get
means
another
no Goblin
basic.
Welders are resolving this game, though.
Yeah, you saw him imprint to Blood Moon. You have to fetch a basic this turn.
Absolutely.
So I'm hoping this means he has a forest in his deck.
It's gotta, right? He's gotta have a Snow Forest.
You put a forest in your Brea deck.
Snow Forest?
We're just 5-color now.
I guess Second Island isn't the worst.
Second Island would be more likely than first 4. Although he has I just have no idea, dude.
Yeah, I think this is a 5-color deck. I'm gonna call it 5
There it
color.
is. There's the forest.
Yeah, I'm calling it 5-color now.
All right, we're playing Brea Tribal Splashing Thragtusk. That's what's happening.
This is insane.
What a delight. How do you feel about the Chronicles and 8th edition Blood Moon split?
I'm all in for it. Is that 8th edition or is that Modern Masters?
I don't know.
I think it's Modern Masters because it's not foil and it's black border.
Oh, sure. It could also be the EMA.
It could be EMA.
Not EMA, but I think there's a Modern Masters one. Oh, look at this. Blood Moon just gives him red mana for this goblin. What? Well,
No,
we tried.
the Dark Blood Moon is too basic. I'm
Goblin
definitely all in for white
Welder.
border Blood Moon with the dark art though.
I use Chronicles Blood Moons because when you crack your fetches, they're white border, and so it reminds you not to. What the heck is this Blood Moons?
Man, this is great.
At this rate, the 4th Blood Moon better be the masterpiece.
I'm so happy about this. The Chrome Moxes don't match either.
Oh, I didn't even register those with the same chroma. Well, this card's gonna look pretty good.
I'm feeling this.
Well, I really hope this 5-color Brea deck does anything.
I really hope so too. Oh, do you know what card that is?
Yeah, that's a liquid metal coating. You use it to
Mhm.
blow up lands. Coupled with the Karn activation, liquid metal coating turns a permanent into an artifact until end of turn. And Karn's +1 says target artifact becomes a creature with power and toughness equal to its casting cost. Famously, lands have a casting cost of 0. He just ripped the snow-colored swamp off the top. He can cast Brea right now. No, he can't.
Yeah, I
It is.
doubt it.
He's short of color
He-
still somehow.
Ian did just rip the Chandra though. Chandra the Mind Sculptor.
Yeah, I think just blowing up a land is going to be good enough, though. I think that's the route you want to take. Just take them off blue. Oh, sorry, that's an island, not a swamp.
Indeed.
Okay. I don't hate this. I just want to see like a Mind Sculptor or something. Unlikely to have Mind Sculptor in the Brave
Ooh, a Trop.
Birthing Pod deck, though.
Sorry, a mountain. Astrolabe. Our problem. Oh, never mind. Forgot. I forgot with Leo.
Goes to the graveyard, joins the Goblin Welder it's supposed to synergize with. Leo's hand is Tropical Island Fetch Land among the cards. Well, this
Yes.
is stupid.
This is unfortunate.
Unclear what the second 2 cards are, but I imagine they're nothing good.
Ooh, Trinisphere. I think that'll lock this game up pretty hard. Leo looking at it, scooping it up, going to game 2, bringing in the artifact hate.
What was he trying to do? So if there wasn't a Chalice, he would have had an Astrolabe and a Welder, but then he still wouldn't have done anything? I guess if he finds
I think
way
that's
to
the point.
sack the Astrolabe, then you can start to get something going. Or if he finds like a Lotus Petal or something. Any way to get an artifact into the graveyard. Goblin Engineer would be good.
Or just casting it into Chalice later.
Sure, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Also, what do those 2 mountains match? You know, you have to be consistently inconsistent. You know?
Exactly.
You can't have...
If
can't have
everything's
nothing
inconsistent, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
And it doesn't tilt anymore.
Yeah, I'm all about that. If you're mismatching your mountains, I do this in my burn deck. I play 19 mountains with 18 unique arts.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I have 2 Odyssey foils
Oh, I love that.
because you can't. So every pattern is comfort,
Exactly.
and so you can't. There's even comfort in randomness, and so you can't be pure randomness. It
Oh,
can't be
Leo
all
brings in the
different.
Padim
That's a
and 4
pattern.
forces. Just showed us.
Wow. What does he do? Baleful Strix, I have to imagine. I'm just trying to imagine what the other 30 cards in this
I
deck
really
are.
appreciate that Padim.
Padim, Console of Innovation. 2Bs. Also, those 2 mountains match. Then your opponent's Goblin Guide flips a mountain, and you have to remember, you don't. Here's what you do, Stasis 5001, is if your opponent attacks with the Goblin Guide and you flip a card that has different art, then you're playing Burn. And so you just don't remember any of it because your opponent can't take advantage of that information. I play 3 Japanese and 1 English Thoughtseize sometimes.
Oh, fantastic.
They all have the same art, too.
Less
the trick
fantastic.
is you have one different so that you know which one to board out.
Especially if you throw in like a one of the invocation arts on there. That really just throws a monkey wrench into
Yeah, your
it.
Thoughtseize really need to be one like Japanese Lorwyn or Japanese Theros, one Lorwyn, one Invocation, and then one like English foil Theros.
I've had people
with
forget
the
that
signature
I
on
had
it.
a Spell Pierce in my hand after they thought seized
That was
because
me.
I
I
had
did that.
a Zendikar 1 and a Invention or Expedition.
I remember Thoughtseizing you and you had an Omniscience, but it was the Yu-Gi-Oh frame, and I wrote it on my life pad as a Force of Will because I didn't know Omniscience was in that frame.
Oh, fantastic.
So I just saw like blue card and gold frame, must be Force. And then I spent the entire game playing around Birds of Paradise?
I love this deck. This is a good deck.
Ian has a Gemstone Cavern?
Leo is doing the world justice.
What is, not Leo, Ian?
Yeah.
Wow, all
no,
right.
Ian's doing the world justice
In
too,
case
but
you
Leo,
ever wondered if Legacy was a fun format or not, this is a Gemstone Cavern on turn 0 versus a basic forest Birds of Paradise out of a 5-color Birthing Pod deck.
It's not Ravnica City of Guilds printing though.
Okay, Chromox, pitch Magus the Moon, play Sandra,
Turn 1 Chandra, not bad.
chomp this
Taking Bolt the Bird to the max.
yeah, I'm chomping that bird in half there. There you
What
go.
is dealing 4? Flame Slash the Bird?
Yeah, we're flame slash. So if that were a goose, a golden
Ooh,
goose,
Yeah, Golden Goose.
then Leo would have food right now. So there's a reason. If you think it's gonna die immediately,
Golden Goose doesn't hold swords as well though.
does it have defender?
No, but it doesn't have flying.
That seems off theme for golden goose.
I don't think so.
I think you're right. We can't look at golden. It's probably not called golden goose. It's
Yeah.
probably gilded goose or something dumb. It is gilded goose. Oh, look at that.
Oh, it does
art.
have flying. Look at me.
And it has defender. So there you go.
Oh yeah,
If this were a gilded
strictly
goose,
better than Birds of Paradise.
and you know what you can do with the food token? You can
Gain
weld
3
it.
life.
You can weld it.
Oh, you can weld
You
it.
can
Oh,
get your astrolabes back out of your
Gilded Goose
graveyard.
OP in 5-color Breapod.
I really think Gilded Goose is what's going to push this deck over the edge for Leo.
You think?
I think just increasing the artifact. This is it. I was asking earlier in the stream about a deck that would play Gilded Goose over Birds of Paradise.
Here's
and
your answer.
We found it. This is the deck.
Absolutely.
All right, look at this mana base. We've got a bug mana base. Chandra upticked on Mountain. So we have 2 unglued mountains, and the first one exiled was Zendikar. That is a Filigree Familiar. There's
Man,
no way
this is a
anybody
draft
knows
deck.
this. Yeah.
This is literally a draft deck. I'm so happy.
Filigree
Filigree
Familiar is
Familiar.
like a fine mid-pack pickup, I guess.
This card does 2 things.
Yeah, it's almost Solemn Simulacrum. So ETBZ gains 2 life, which cancels out the Chandra's plus last turn. And then if it ever dies, he draws a card. It's going to be good with Goblin Welder.
It is going to be good with Goblin Welder.
We'll see if he can get the Welder out.
Is this
under
just like Goblin
chalice.
Welder loops deck?
Wow, look at how little this Blood Moon matters.
Yeah.
All right, I'm kind of impressed with this deck, but I think this game is more a testament to the inconsistency of the Red Prison deck. Oh, I was
Ooh,
all set for Leo to play a red spell. I was like, let this Blood Moon mana.
there we
fix
go.
it.
We have the Tez. Does Filigree Familiar have 3 attack? Wow, it's
I
a
think it's a
3/2?
No, Chandra was only. Wow, what? Oh, he turned it into a 5/5 with a Tezzeret.
Oh, gas.
Let's throw this one up. The old
Oh, baby. This is
Tez.
fantastic.
Zeret Agent of Bolus.
Yeah. This
It's,
is best Tezzeret.
It's been a while. So +1s, look at the top 5, find an artifact. -1 turns an artifact into a 5/5, and -4 you win the game. It's a good Planeswalker.
Oh, yeah.
There was a Astrolabe on top of the Familiar.
I was talking with a friend about how Tez might be one of the most well-designed Planeswalkers in the game right now.
Love Tezzeret. For a long time, there was a Tezzerator build that was playing that alongside Mind Sculptor because that Planeswalker gives you enough value to win the game by itself.
Yeah, honestly. All right.
Dude, you know what else the Tezzeret can do? Animate the food.
It can animate the
in
food.
this world where the birds of paradise are gilded gooses, yeah, we could have a 5/5 food attacking.
Man. And Gilded Goose can make you more food tokens to attack with as 5/5s?
And you somehow find room to put brainstorm in this deck.
Yeah,
I guess brainstorm's pretty low cost. Badlands means he actually has red mana in this deck, so Blood Moon may actually be mana fixing him. I guess we know he has Brea.
There's Baleful Strikes in the hand.
Okay, that's a sane. That's like the first sane Magic card I've seen him play.
I see Astrolabe.
Okay, he just animated the Astrolabe and attacked it for 5.
Yeah, I mean, this is a clock. And also the Astrolabe
He
is
ends at 1.
under the Astrolabe is under the Ratchet Palm, so that's not an answer.
Ian's at 1.
Yeah, Ian's at 1.
Leo has 2 lethal attackers.
Yeah. Leo's living his best life right now. Look at this. He has Tezzeret and
Look, all I'm
Pod.
saying is that Ian would be dead if Leo had a food on turn 1, if that were Gilded Goose.
Leo's out here.
Because it would have been able to animate the food and attack with the
That's a Plague
there's a Plague
Engineer.
Engineer. Sure, why not?
What a deck. Oh, boy. This is for
Let's
sure
play the
getting put
Birthing
together.
Pod. I'm sure the Birthing Pod would have killed him. Like, he's got to have like a red cap or something, but I think Leo's just having a
Puts
good time.
down the mountain. Oh, look, there is the different White Border Mountain, 8th edition.
I love how his mountains are like mostly unglued, but then some of them are
Oh,
very cool.
All right, up
Onward to
to-
game 3
yeah, this is a game 3.
with Food Tribal versus Mono Red Prison.
Oh, boy.
I don't.
This was
It's
the
not
match
even
to
really
get up
Brea
here.
Pod at this point. We haven't seen Brea,
No.
and it looks like the red is a splash, and we haven't seen any white cards. So it's more like a bug, not really a Nick fit, but like a bug-based 5-color artifact. We saw 2 islands. He's got 4 basics.
We saw 2 islands. He's got Astrolabes. He's got to have those basics. Snow.
Oh no.
Yeah, we've seen Leovold, Plague Engineer, Brea, Goblin Welder, Tez, all in the same deck right now.
All right. Yeah, Astrolabe just ties it all
Did you
together.
just rename Leo's deck? Oh, we have seen Filigree Familiar. Oh boy. Remember when Filigree Familiar got spoiled and people thought the card was going to be like great?
Did anybody think that was going to be great?
I thought it would be. I heard other people thought they would be. Filigree Familiar.deck. Man, we're just cycling through names quick now.
I'm just trying to find a good one that really evokes what's happening. I would agree that this is the best Filigree Familiar deck ever.
Yeah.
You have the Welders to recur it,
Mm-hmm.
right? You want the life gain. It offsets your pod activations. in
It
case you have to pay
does.
life for
Ooh,
pod.
you're right. Food would offset that too.
This deck needs more food. We solved it. I just love that you can weld in the food to like re-trigger. Oh, Filigree Familiar with Welder draws you cards when it leaves.
Yeah, it
life
does.
when it comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Gilded Goose makes a food every turn, so you can weld it.
This deck
Oh,
needs
so
Gilded
good.
Goose.
This deck definitely needs Gilded Goose. Throw that up. You know what? We don't need to throw that up again for the guys at home. Everybody knows what Gilded Goose does. Birds of Paradise that makes food.
Yeah,
It's the best card in the set.
absolutely.
Birds of Paradise once again in standard. R&D said they wouldn't do it. And now look where we are. We have Land Werewolves and Gilded Goose. All right. Let's see if we're going to see another early Filigree Familiar. I also like that Filigree Familiar just kind of laughs in the face of Blood Moon.
Yeah, accurate.
That's his birthing pod, really. All right. Ian
I see a
boarded in-
Padim in Leo's hand.
Ian boarded in a split card, but I can't think of what split card you normally play in this deck. Probably not Boom Bust, but probably Gone in a way. Dead and Gone.
Dead and gone, huh?
Yeah. That's what my guess is what that split card is. It could be, it's either Rough Tumble, Dead Gone, or Boom Bust, but I think it's Dead Gone.
I hope it's Boom Bust. Oh, here comes the not Gilded Goose.
It is Dead Gone.
It's Dead Gone?
Yep.
Okay.
Kill it. Shock your guy. Throw
He's
that one
dead.
out there. This card was heavily played for a hot minute as a way for Dover decks to bounce Merit Leech. All right,
Ooh, gets
so
the dead down and then plays
Yeah,
the Chalice.
play your 1-drop on turn 1, play your Chalice on turn 2. That's sort of. I think we just crashed the Scryfall API.
Possibly.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just trying its best.
Don't ever type Dead Gone into Scryfall, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, no, it's okay. Well, it gave up. Worth a shot.
Something went wrong. That card doesn't exist. Okay, well, sure. Anyway, so we have another basic. Leo just never doesn't have basics.
Yeah, sounds
Really
about
is
right with
amazing.
so many prismatic vistas. Ooh, here's the Strix.
Okay, sure.
I wonder, does Leo have a way to actually remove this Chalice?
I have to assume. Yeah,
He's-
Goblin Welder.
Goblin Welder does not remove this Chalice.
If he throws a Lotus Petal, maybe? No, you're right. Oh, yeah, Goblin, because it's a one
Yeah.
drop. How about Reclamation Sage?
I mean, that'd be sweet. He's got it, right? It's a pod deck. He's got to have one thing that does it.
Harmonic Sliver, Knight of the Autumn.
Harmonic Sliver. Now you're thinking was Galaxy Brain.
Yeah. Knight of Autumn is a strict upgrade to Harmonic Sliver. You don't have to play that card anymore.
What do you mean? Knight of Autumn is not a sliver.
Strict upgrade, I would say. See, there was a deck on Moto playing Morophon the Boundless with a bunch of Grim Monoliths, and it would just cheat it out as early as possible. And
Okay.
then the rest of the deck was 5-color slivers. So it like Morophon the Boundless into, and literally just like the first sliver into Sliver Legion Cascade into the sliver that gives them flying
Oh,
haste,
no.
and just one shot.
Oh, what a deck.
I think Cyrus TG posted a screenshot of like him playing Storm and just losing on turn 2 to Morophon plus a bunch of slivers.
That's a Doretti Ironclast.
What the heck is happening here?
So Doretti
Does that kill
Ironclast.
Chalice?
Yeah, pull up Doretti Ironclast. I don't think that's how you spell Doretti, but maybe it is. I don't think
I don't
there's
like
two
that we have
R's,
to
yeah.
take a spelling bee every time we do this casting thing. I'll tell you what. Daretti?
Yeah, I think it's Doretti Ironclast. Maybe I'm wrong.
Ironclad? Iconoclast? Oh, I bet it's Iconoclast.
Oh, it's Iconoclast.
Thank you, Diasumaru.
That's what I get for not reading cards.
Now, is it Daretti or D-Ready?
Ingenious Iron. Man, more words.
With 2 R's? Look, this thing's got a soft spell checker, so if I get close, eventually it's going to show up.
Yeah, just is it makes 1/1s with Death Touch or with Defender, and then it
But I'm pretty
sacrifices
sure you can
artifacts.
destroy artifacts with it.
Yeah,
right?
artifact or creature.
Yeah, so here's a way to remove the Chalice.
That's a big game for sure.
And he didn't have red mana before the Blood Moon. What a crazy deck.
Bless
Okay,
chat.
so, alright. Fun Police comes in.
Boo.
Spyglass is the Daretti. So,
Leo
Fortunately-
puts his handful of 1-drops face up.
oh, big yikes. Fortunately, not before he got to make a 1/1 defender.
Ooh, the Tez rip.
What is this?
What
do?
a rip
This
indeed.
has got to kill a Planeswalker. He's got to, like, come back into the game.
I mean, it just turns like it turns the guy
No,
into a
he can't-
5/5.
He can't do that. He'll die to Karn.
Will he?
I don't know. I just assume that he'll die to Karn if it stays in play.
I mean, I think you just turn the Strix into a 5/5 and hit Karn in the face, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think that you have to kill the Planeswalkers, and then you can go after the Chalice. But you're
Yeah.
right, Tezzeret does kill Chalice by making it a 0/0 artifact.
No, this Tezzeret doesn't make things based on their CMC. It just makes them 5/5s.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm a dumb.
But
Okay.
it doesn't matter. This Tezzeret makes them 5/5s. That's the big thing.
Yes.
Now
So
Leo has
this Tezzeret's
5/5s.
good against Planeswalkers, but he's still looking for an answer for Chalice.
Ooh.
Rabble, 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 rabble.
Luckily,
rabble.
Leo still has that 1/1 defender, and as such, ooh.
That
questionable.
1/1 defender's going to come up clutch.
Yeah. That's the big brain. Right there. That's the move.
Rabble, 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 rabble. Can he kill it?
No.
Hmm.
There's a bridge, though.
Yeah,
That'll get in the way real well.
Matter. Oh, for 5/5s it will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Indeed.
that ensnaring bridge is secretly huge. The Chandra's only a turn away.
And that's an Astrolabe rip. I think that we're going to see Ian taking this off of this Chandra bolting.
Which kind of sucks, but I mean, I get it. Playing mono red against the 5-color nonsense deck.
Ian is the fun police.
It's important to have fun police in your format,
I agree.
but unfortunately, it does occasionally stop fun.
That is what the fun police do.
All right, going up with Tezzeret, trying to find an answer, finds a solemn, somewhat sure. Solemn Simulacrum in your Legacy deck. I mean, if you have Filigree Familiar, why wouldn't you play
Yeah, this
Filigree
card tutors a
Familiar as
land.
Brother?
Who even cares about Blood Moon?
And you know what else it does is it eats Goblin tokens every turn. So
Yeah, it does.
the Sad Bot's going to come in and protect his Planeswalker really nicely, while this Baleful Strix keeps the Chandra off ult. So yeah.
Baleful Strix is a 5/5, but yeah.
That's,
Yeah, it is.
oh, it's a 5/5 forever.
Yeah.
Oh, nah. Okay.
Yeah, this Chandra is going to be a problem. You know, Bridge actually has a pretty fun interaction with Rabble Master. If you just get down to 0 cards, those tokens it makes doesn't have to attack until you want them to.
Oh, there you go.
Mhm.
We call that a fun interaction, I would say.
Ooh, Trinisphere.
3 ball and Spirit Guide. Ian can get down to 0 cards this turn.
Spirit Guide's a funny one.
Feels like you do.
You got it, right?
Play
I
3
just
ball.
started.
3 ball probably doesn't do anything, but
Yeah, I mean, we're just in up for this Chandra. Honestly, I think that Ian's all in on this Chandra right now.
what are Leo's outs?
I don't know what Leo's deck is, so I don't know what his
Assassin's Trophy?
outs are.
Assassin's
Brea
Trophy
out?
gets under. Can he cast Brea? He doesn't have white to cast Brea.
Brea costs white?
Yeah. The card costs a lot of things.
What? Oh, boy. Oh, no.
It's everything but green. It is an out.
Look at that. It's the first color.
Well, assuming it was errata so that the first ability targets planeswalkers, but it may not have been.
She's the not green commander. Got it.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Let's see what Brea's errata is.
I'll let you look that up.
Brea. Yeah, Brea's thing does hit planeswalker. Or, yeah.
So Brea is still not an out because he still doesn't have white mana. Karn off the top for Ian. This mono red deck, I swear, it's got the most consistent draws of anything in the format. You just draw a gas every single turn.
Yeah.
Why not?
That's how the fun police work.
Famously, how mono red works.
They're the feds.
So he has Trinisphere Spirit Guide in his hand, but chose to plus the Karn or the Chandra first. Finds a Karn and now can't get Hellbent for this ensnaring bridge, but I doubt that matters.
This game is over, in my opinion, on this Chandra.
No, Leo's got to have outs. There's got to be just something that we haven't think of because he could have any card in Magic in his deck right now. There's got to be Hex Parasite, right?
I'm all in for
Vampire
Hex
Hex
Parasite.
Mage?
I mean, Hex Parasite gets countered, but Hex Parasite's sweet.
Is it a 1-drop? I thought
Yeah.
it was 2. I thought it was a 1.
You know, I remember playing with Hex Parasite in New Phyrexia pre-release. What a card.
Could have. Let's see. Vengefine doesn't do it. Kolagon's Command.
Oh man, looking at 5 cards.
draw
What
step
artifact
wasn't
saves
one.
them now?
Let's see what the artifacts do.
The answer is none of them.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, that might.
Even
I
his
had
own deck
faith.
isn't having fun anymore.
I had faith.
Do you have faith anymore?
I have less faith now.
Is Chandra's ulti 8 or 7?
Blowing up the Ensnaring Bridge would do it. 7. There's a basic mountain. He can attack with Solemn Simulacrum. Ian goes, before combat, exhaust him in Spirit Guide. Oh, well, that's very rude of you, Ian.
Truly.
Oof. Yeah, and here comes the Chandra ult. Now, it might be that Ian never casts 4 spells,
Ooh.
but that can't happen.
Yeah. I agree. I wouldn't even ulti Chandra here. It would kill it.
I would.
Really?
Yeah, I'm terrified of Leo's deck. I don't know what he has in it.
That's fair. I accept that.
Plus, there is a 1/1 Baleful Strix now, so Ian has to get Hellbent to
Oh,
keep
you're
his Chandra
right.
alive.
There is. Can he empty his hand? He can't. Okay.
Oh, if you can't empty your hand, I think that makes the decision for you.
Yeah. Absolutely cannot empty his hand. Gets the Mycosynth Lattice. Gonna roll the not fun train a little bit harder. Using Chandra ritual mode. Brainstorm
In response,
countered.
play my 1-drops.
Brainstorm again.
He doesn't have blue.
Nope. So Leo now has a 1/1 to
He's
win
got
this
a
game with.
basic mountain in this deck.
What is this? Oh, it's a goblin.
Rob Master Token.
Okay. I mean, like, I guess he's not technically dead. But he's dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, unless...
Good on
yeah,
Leo for
the
playing
Chandra's
it.
still in play. Right, that didn't go away. He's still
Yeah.
dead to the Chandra.
I mean, he can just attack it each turn, but it doesn't really matter.
The Sadbot should probably just trades with the. You just trade the Sadbot with the Rabble Master because 0 of the draws in Leo's deck matter. So him drawing the card isn't. It's whatever.
I mean, Forcible matters, right? Does it matter even?
No.
No, you're right.
No, he's got Planeswalkers gaining 2 loyalty a turn, and he can only remove 1 loyalty a turn. So eventually one of those Planeswalkers will kill him. Plus, rather rudely, Ian still gets to draw cards.
Is Leo's deck list available? We can ask him and tell you if he has it posted in a place, but we don't have a way to show it to you guys. We'll definitely ask him in between rounds, though.
Yeah, so we've seen Goblin. So I think this deck could benefit from Goblin Engineer. It kind of gets around the Chalice of the Void, and it lets you entomb your Astrolabe or Baleful Strix.
I do not
or
think Goblin
Filigree
Engineer is a good
Familiar.
card. The fact that it costs mana to use
No,
it is
it's
big.
insane. Who cares? Look how much mana he's got 7 mana.
Goblin Engineer is so much
This
worse
deck
than
has
Goblin
Taiga
Welder.
in it, dude. I don't even know.
Deck's playing Taiga. Last time I saw Taiga was from a Scapeshift deck.
I just whenever I construct like multicolored blue mana bases, like you play all the blue duels and like one off color. But we've seen Badlands and Taiga so far, and I don't know. This is a very strange deck. Brea must only be castable off Astrolabe because we haven't actually seen any white lands.
If you're playing Belcher with Taiga and not with Stomping Ground Foil
Russian
Russian,
foil, yeah.
you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, also Belcher's obsoleted by useful spells.
Indeed.
I think that deck's enough better. Unless you're like afraid of surgical extraction, but if you're afraid of cards that your opponents are playing, then you probably shouldn't be playing
Truly.
that archetype.
Belcher is for no fear.
But of course, sometimes you just have Japanese foil Belcher deck, and then you play it and you
New Belcher art is pretty
get
lit
fun
too,
with it. Oh, I love the new Belcher. It's so much more flavorful than the original one.
honestly.
Let's throw that up here. That's related to this game that we're watching. Would Goblin
Ooh.
Tri-Belcher be fine in Leo's deck? Like
Thank you
can
for the
find it with
19-person
Tezzeret?
host. Welcome everyone. We are watching Mono Red Prison, aka the Fun Police, versus the sweetest deck in Legacy.
Yeah, it's a 5-color pod deck with Filigree Familiar, Solemn Simulacrum,
Wait,
Birthing Pod, Thrive-Tusk, a pile of Planeswalkers.
where did this Goblin Belcher deck or Goblin?
You can just push up, and it does the.
Wrong.
Ha!
You literally gave me Goblin Chariot. Okay, Goblin Charbelcher. That means that set. That's the Goblins dual deck. That means they put the Goblin Charbelcher in a Goblins deck.
Yeah, well, it's got Goblin in the name.
I
Why
know, but
wouldn't
they
you do
put it
that?
in an actual Goblins deck.
Can
the
you imagine
Madmen.
how disappointed that young child was when he opened his Goblin deck?
Wizards is insane.
He was like, "Oh, I get 7-mana artifact and activate it. Target your face, deal 2." Wait, you've seen so much Bray and Pod. You know what? They're in his deck, I think.
I think they were in the deck. We saw Pod.
We
It
only
didn't
have
get
Tom's
cast, but
word.
we saw him think about casting it.
Yeah, we saw Pod last game. That's true.
Yeah. Either way, this
Engineer,
deck is
Leopold.
sweet.
Yeah, those boom and busts came up big for Ian.
Indeed. Aren't those dead and gone?
I'm sorry, dead and gone. Dead and gone. Yeah, I'm sure Bray is a singleton.
Forgot to put her in the command zone. Indeed.
Out
Very
come
true.
the forces. Out come the Padim. He's going through his deck right now. There's the Bray.
Okay.
Birds of Paradise. Oh man, we gotta tell him to play Gilded Goose.
I think Leo would have won
Oh
with
look,
Gilded
he's got
Goose.
the green Baleful Strix as well. Of course
Yeah.
he does. That makes sense. Like you're kind of dirtily value decks.
I mean, to be
want as
fair,
many Baleful Strixes as
From
you
what I
get.
see, this deck runs like this and Baleful Strix and Astrolabe. It just cantrips its entire deck away.
He had a main deck in the Spell Bomb that he boarded out too.
Ooh,
Very cool.
gas.
Give him the goose.
Give him the goose.
So here's the reason I like. We'll bring this back here instead of watching the show. Actually, for 17 minutes,
You want
we
to try
may
and find
be
a
able to
backup
find
at
someone
17
else.
minutes?
Let me
17
go
minutes
check
is
it
a
out.
bit. Alright. We have the one and only Christopher Wessel looking for our backup match. Hopefully he doesn't do us dirty. Finds us something sweet. As for round 4, if you guys are looking for anything in particular, please put it in chat and we'll try our best. I know it's pretty hard to top filigreefamiliar.deck, but we can get there kinda. Golos Post. I saw someone playing Golos Post last week actually, so that might be around. I doubt we have a Storm deck in the room. All the Seattle Storm players aren't here, so if someone's playing Storm, yeah, this is Legacy. If someone's playing Storm, it's not going to be here. Pirate Stompy, rip. Reweave Storm was last round. What else? I still know there's a Shortcake deck in the room. I actually don't know the record of the Shortcake deck player, but Shortcake is one of my favorite decks in the world. Mono black anything. Ooh, good idea. I see a Pox list. We have a Pox list in the room. So that's a mono black deck. What else? There's a Dredge deck. That's pretty sweet. There's Food Chain.
Looks like everyone is in their last game for the day. So we will not have another match this round. We'll bring it back to the casters. Did you see the Brea?
Welcome back. I saw the Brea.
Yeah. We had to prove it was there. This is Legacy? Yes. Decodes 86.
Indeed, it is Legacy. I was just running through what we have here with us tonight. Few highlights, seeing what we can get on.
Absolutely.
Pox would be sweet. Someone said we'll see if how well Pox is doing. I don't think we want to put on anything worse than like 2 and 1.
We do seem to have like a Pox here about every week. It's a kind of a interestingly popular deck.
Pox gets the love, you know?
Room. Yeah. And we always have a Dredge deck or two here.
Yeah, there's definitely Dredge. I saw that for sure.
A couple of sweet Astrolabe decks. I saw Renicles.
No Sneak and
That's
Show.
the Anzio 4 Miracle Splashing Renin 6 deck. That's in the room.
That's a deck, I think.
I saw a couple of Stoneblade, a couple of Rug Delver, one with a crop rotation in it.
No Yurikos.
Didn't see Yuriko tonight. We do have a gentleman that plays it regularly here. One of the Walio brothers.
No, he moved.
Yeah, I know.
He lives in Boston
We'll
now.
always miss him. Looks like we got 2 Mono Red Prison. Matthew Saxon on Strawberry Shortcake. How's he doing?
I hope well.
Well, not in the top half. Or in the middle.
He's at the bottom.
I think he just went home already.
No fun.
Yield O2 drop for the Strawberry
Wurza.
Parfait strategy.
Have you seen Wurza decks in Legacy?
I have not seen Wurza in League. Oh, yes, I have. Justin Ralla, Raging Quizo in the chat, was playing Urza here a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
We had him on camera, and it was delightful.
Okay. Did he win?
He did.
Okay.
Yeah, so Urza makes tokens, and then you make more tokens with... I just don't even remember what he was making tokens with. But there are a lot of them, and they were casting free spells off the top of the deck with Urza.
Okay.
A lot of mana was happening.
I'm unconvinced.
Trinket Mage
But Trinket Mage, ooh.
in that deck goes and finds
Good
a
card.
great many cool things. Also, Sai. Thank you. Sai was the one making tokens. So Sai, cast artifact, you make Thoppers, you tap the Thoppers, you activate Urza, you cast the artifacts, which you use to make Thoppers.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's kind of a sweet strategy. And then you have Chalice of the Void to just win
Seems good.
games.
Does it run Paradox Engine for
No.
the spice?
The nice thing about Chalice of the Void is that it doesn't really matter how bad your deck is. You just put a Chalice on one, and then you beat like a third of the format, as we just saw.
Accurate.
Uh,
More people finishing their matches.
yeah, Raging Quizo, post your list in chat for all of our friends here.
Oh, please do.
Classic Dredge or Hogak. So, I know Dwayne is our Dredge player this week. Looks like we only have one Dredge player, and he is playing Hogak as a 2-of.
Okay.
So, a soft commitment, but we've seen all sorts of nonsense. I've casted Rug Delver, splashing Hogak.
I really want to try around with like a Zombardment list that runs Hogak.
Yeah.
Really
I
just
can
like
see that
take
being
the
really
pure
good.
Hogak deck and put it in Legacy and do your best with it. Like,
There's a lot of 5-0 people just playing like 5-0 lists that are just the modern deck, and they added Cabal Therapy and Real Dual Lands.
yeah, that makes sense.
And that was the only change that they made from the modern deck.
Deck was
But that's
really
good enough for Legacy.
The deck was really good.
I was thinking about this. So it's actually not that difficult to port modern decks to Legacy because Legacy is such an efficient format
Yeah.
that it's really easy to go over the top.
Well,
of,
you have all
like,
the cards. The first
value
thing you
in
can do is
tempo
fix the
decks.
mana base. That's
Mhm.
easy.
Sure.
And then it's just like finding better versions of cards that are already in the deck if you really want to.
But the port doesn't go the other way because Modern doesn't have access to any of the combo cards that Legacy does.
Yeah.
And the
And the more
control
efficient
decks in Modern
removal.
are equipped to go much longer than the control decks in Legacy. The mid-range decks in Legacy are.
Indeed.
Plus, like Legacy's full of things like Spell Pierce and Abrupt Decay, which aren't really good enough for Modern.
I feel like Spell Pierce is underplayed in Modern, honestly. Spell Pierce is kind of a house. I always forget that Modern Horizons is legal in Modern.
I always forget that. I always think Renin 6 is underplayed in Modern, but that's just shows how little I know about the format.
Modern doesn't have Wasteland.
But it does have cycling lands.
But it doesn't have Wasteland.
Very sad.
It has Ghost Quarter. That card's pretty good.
Let's see here. Kent Ketter playing 4-color snow. Looks like a couple of Reanimator.
I know there's a lot of depths in the room. That was the thing that surprised me. People are really on that depths train.
Adepsa, I think Adepsa is probably the best archetype in the format.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly?
Yeah, Delver's the most popular deck overall, but the problem with playing Delver here, speaking from experience, is that there's a lot of people that are innovators in this room.
Yeah.
And Delver's really bad against decks that are innovating.
You're not wrong.
So, for example, I don't think we've put a Tier 1 Legacy archetype. Well, we had Turbo Depths, but if you're playing against
We saw
Prison,
the Turbo
if you're
Depths
playing
versus
against
Black Red,
Breya,
yeah.
if you're playing against really anything that's kind of not on the straight and narrow for Legacy,
No, I get
then
that
you
for sure.
you can't win with Delver because you're not going to know what to soft counter. You're not going to have
Exactly.
your sideboard built correctly.
It's always hard to take online MTGO's legacy metagame because MTGO's legacy metagame is warped by so many factors that don't have to do with the game.
I think as a control player, it's fine. So when I was tracking the metagame and playing Grixis, I found that the online metagame roughly lined up with real life. But I think in a more proactive deck where you have to build it more specifically for your meta, I think that's kind of an exercise in futility here because you're still going to fight against Dredge and Mono Green Enchantress.
Really, I feel like it's pretty
Every
easy to
single week.
metagame for here, as long as you're like familiar with what most people play. It's just different than online.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Without a
Definitely
doubt,
is.
different.
And that's
People.
kind of true of every LGS.
Oh, absolutely. Legacy, Paper Legacy is so different from MTGO Legacy.
Well, so when I used to live in the Midwest and I played Pod every week because we had a 8-round Legacy, but like the entire room was like 2 Death and Taxes, 2 Elves, 2 lands, and then a Miracles player. And you just played like Birthing Pod with a couple of main deck adjustments to like hate on the graveyard and play more Deathrite Shamans, and
Yeah.
and you
When
just
I-
couldn't lose. You didn't have to. There were no combo decks or no Delver decks, so no one could punish you for playing Nick Fit.
When I played Legacy, so the first game store that I ever went to only ran Legacy FNMs back when Alara first came out.
Mhm.
And everything that I played against, like I played against Elves, but it used like Grape Shot as its win con. And
sure.
like
My first Elf deck played Squall Line and Well Wisher,
juicy.
and so you would go to 25 and then just deal 20 to both players.
It's really interesting. Paper Legacy does seem constrained by card availability, but especially here, card availability isn't a major factor. It's
if you wanna
definitely a
innovate, you
factor,
can.
but yeah, it really is just about like a lot of people enjoy certain decks and certain archetypes in Legacy and prefer to do that over playing a winning deck.
Yeah.
And because of that, you end up with a very diverse and different metagame.
And
in
once
Paper
every couple of
Legacy.
years, your pet deck becomes the meta deck, and then you see someone like Mike Kiesel with his Turbo Depth strategy go through and just destroy everyone.
Exactly.
Or me with like Hymn to Torak mid-range decks.
Or me with Sneak and Shaft.
Mm-hmm. But just because Hymn to Torak's not good right now doesn't mean I'm not going to play it.
Absolutely. Hymn to Torque is always good, though. Let's be real.
Yeah.
So
And
two
as
for
long
one.
as your opponents have cards in their hand, then the floor on it's pretty high.
Exactly.
Just damn Storm with my Tendrils tattoo because love. There you go. The other nice thing about Legacy is you can kind of build a deck and then have it forever. You don't have to pay the upkeep costs that you do for Standard and Modern, kind of the more rotating formats.
Yeah. Fear Phage, our tournaments here are not proxy free.
Yeah, but we do have a pretty robust casual scene.
Our tournaments here are proxy free. My bad.
Yeah, no,
There are no proxies legal in any of these. They are all sanctioned.
but we do have a pretty big casual scene. So if you come in here on a Saturday or call ahead, you can usually find people that have Legacy decks,
Oh,
proxied
absolutely.
or otherwise. You can usually get a lot of games in, and then once if you're established with the community, there's a lot of people that kind of value playing Legacy as kind of the greatest good. So I've been known to lend decks out, lend cards out. Like if this is a community that you want to be a member of, that you want to participate in these tournaments, it's pretty welcoming.
Yeah.
We're pretty friendly. We'll try to set you up.
I agree. Void Lily,
This is in Ballard, Washington. north of
Bellevue
Seattle.
does run sanctioned vintage monthly.
Oh yeah, I think our record's 26 for no proxy sanctioned vintage FNM.
Yep.
And because it's an FNM, get that FNM promo.
Indeed.
Oh yeah.
Vintage, our vintage sanctioned FNMs, no proxy, actually fire with like 10 to 12 people.
Yeah, I borrowed
every time.
vintage Dredge and they gave me a foil Frostwalker for showing up.
Ooh,
That was amazing.
fantastic.
Just perfect. Yeah, first Friday of every month, They do vintage FNM, and it's the entry fee and payout are adjusted to make it worth bringing a vintage deck, but they do run it at casual. It's an FNM format.
Absolutely.
It's a very cool, very fun environment. Randy Bueller shows up sometimes, and
Yeah.
Wizards of the Coast is based in south of Seattle,
Many WotC employees.
and so for vintage, for some of our higher profile events, even for Legacy, we'll get WotC employees occasionally. Yeah, very cool. Not in the newer formats because if a WotC employee plays and they can't sanction it.
Really? That's not true, is it?
It used to be true.
I'm pretty sure they were
It was true
they
for a long
removed
time.
that. I'm pretty sure that was removed like
But it
a
used
year
to be
ago.
that you could get your payouts, and if you're only playing for cash, then it didn't matter. But if it were like standard and there are people wanting Planeswalker points or qualifiers that way. But anyway, going through chat, how does your opponent? Yeah, Emerald Fool, I just think that we should unban Mind Twist, and then we don't have to construct all of these Hymn to Torak Dream situations. Because then you can
I
just
think
go
Mind
double
Twist
rip
should
Mind
be in
Twist.
Legacy.
Yeah.
Mind Twist only contributes to healthy, fun gameplay.
I want to let's Summoner's Pact. Let's go find Dryad Arbor. And then we'll play Culling the Weak and sack the Dryad Arbor. And then use that mana of Mind Twist. That's the kind of contraption I want to assemble.
That sounds like an SI deck I'd sign up for.
Yeah. Yeah, just SI, but your sideboard is fun. You know what? Just put Mind Twist in the main deck. Just why not? Just have mana. Put it in Belcher while you're at it, too.
SI, but it sounds like Redbone.
Yeah, I'm in. Let's Mind Twist some people. I'd be so scared to take a proxy vintage deck out of my house. Yeah, that's the other thing is I don't think I've ever heard of any theft or damage of property.
I mean, it happens. Watch
Here.
after your cards. Don't
Yes.
just leave them places. Seriously.
Absolutely.
But, like...
But if you are going to play vintage, Mox Boarding House is a good place to do it.
Yeah, that's where it's at. For sure.
Or on Budget Oath, and I feel safe. So, yeah, the cool thing about the Oath deck is, like, you have power, or you have the availability, the possibility of putting power in it. But there's no other very expensive card. Like, Force of Will, Mana Drain are, like, expensive Magic cards, but no more than any other format. It's
Yeah.
not like you're playing Bazaars or...
Beer spilled on
Workshops or
Miracles
Power.
at Gamma. Gross. That's what double sleeving's for.
Yikes. That's why we just put drinks on the floor. It's not that hard.
Yeah. Pretty please. All right.
The value of a vehicle in a box. Yeah, it was a relief to me when I bought my new car, and finally my car was worth more than my Magic cards, because that hadn't happened since I was in college. I use drinks as counters. Wow. Okay, you know what? Some people just want to watch the world burn, and there's really nothing that you can do. There's really nothing you can do. We have about 4 minutes left in the round.
Yeah.
So while we wait for the Nonsense Tundra players to pack up, let's talk about Rise of Eldraine spoilers.
Rise of Eldraine spoilers. Okay.
Throne of Eldraine spoilers.
Throne of Eldraine spoilers.
All right, here's one that I want to talk about. I don't think... So we talked about Questing Beast. We talked about Gilded Goose.
And we talked about Impulse but green.
So I want to talk about... Let me pull it up really quick.
Wait. First of all, this card's bad, right?
Yeah, it's awful.
Okay.
The bad Dak Faden.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Trying to sort through our spoiler here and find it.
What are you looking for?
It's a fairy.
Oh,
This one.
sorry, chat.
Fairy Vandal. Let's throw this up. I don't hear anyone talking about this, but whenever I see spoilers for new card, I always try to find the Legacy card in the rough. And I don't think it's Questing Beast. I think it might be this one. So Legacy has forever been on the verge of having a mono blue Delver deck.
You know, I'm
It's
convinced.
always been one card away.
I'm convinced that this card plus that card printed in M20, it's like the Merfolk with Flash, Merfolk Cutthroat something. It says whenever you cast a spell on your opponent's turn, it gets a +1/+1 counter, and it's 1/1 with Flash. I'm convinced.
That's a card?
Yeah. I'm convinced that this card plus.
But it doesn't
that
have
card-
Flash itself.
Brineborn Cutthroat, yeah. I'm convinced that Brineborn Cutthroat is good in this, like, with this card in Legacy.
Flash, whenever you cast a spell during your opponent's turn. You know what? Okay.
I'm convinced.
I'm in.
Yeah, this with Spellstutter Sprite and that last fairy.
So I just wanted to point out that at some point you're playing too many dudes. A Delver deck plays 10 dudes, and you already want to make room for Delver of Secret, Spellstutter Sprite, Snapcaster Mage, and probably Trina Nemesis.
Do you need to make room for Snapcaster
You
Mage?
probably don't. I was about to renege on that. So
Okay.
Delver of Secrets, Trina Nemesis, Spellstutter Sprite. You're probably only going to play one other creature, certainly not two.
Okay. I
So Spellstutter
idea.
Sprite's fine on its own because it counters
Idea.
1-drops. You might not need this.
don't run Delver. Run more dudes.
Could I play Delver in the sideboard?
Maybe.
But
Just an idea.
This is what I want. I just want there to be. So the nice thing about the multicolor rug decks is that you get to you diversify your threats, right? You
Okay,
have
yeah.
the Arcanist, Dreadhorde Arcanist for matchups where the battlefield is kind of uncontested. Delver for when you got to go fast, and Tarmogoyf for when you got to go like big and bulky and force your way through. And the blue decks are always kind of missing a Tarmogoyf effect. And I think either this or Merfolk Cutthroat could fill that void. This has flying, and it synergizes with Spellstutter Sprite, but it also doesn't get counters nearly as often. This is only getting a counter on Brainstorm and Ponder, whereas the other one's getting a counter on Spellstutter Sprite, it's getting a counter on Spell Pierce, Daze, everything.
Yeah, but this has flying.
Yeah. So really, you gotta maybe just play a 2/2 split.
Possibly.
Why not?
Mono blue lockout combo. Yeah.
I played that last week.
It's been done before though. I've already had that done to me with Leovold. It's not new.
Yeah,
anymore.
that was me.
Yeah, that's been done to me for a while.
Yeah, I played 4-color Ren and 6 with a 1 Cephalin Coliseum, 1 Lonely Sandbar, 2 Narsets, 1 Leovold.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then I put them in my EDH deck because that was really fun.
I've been feeling that pain. I need new pains to feel.
The problem with the 4-color decks right now is that they are so much worse than the proactive decks in Legacy. Like, you just can't ever beat Turbo Depths.
Yeah.
And then you have people in the room playing Blood Moon and Bloodstone and Karn and Chalice of the Void. There's just... It's very difficult to play a mid-rangey control deck right now because it used to be the Miracles was a deck that mattered, and you could beat them by playing 4 different colors. And the problem is that Miracles isn't a deck that matters anymore.
Bless Miracles not being a deck that matters.
Yeah. I kind of wish it were, though, because I need somebody to crush these Merit Lage decks.
Yeah. It's me and Marshawn on that last name right there.
Is the good version Jory and Ruin Diver?
Oh, Jorian Ruin Diver. Is that
What
a card?
that?
I've seen that card played in Legacy once. I've had this card cast against me once.
Are you serious?
In Legacy.
Whenever you cast your... No, I'm out.
No, this card's gas.
No, I want beef.
Look at it.
I want beef on my creatures.
It says draw a card on it.
Yeah, you could play Arcane Dreadhorde Arcanist.
Arcane Dreadhorde Arcanist.
Yes, I always call it Arcane Artist, and it's not the name of the card. You could play Dreadhorde Artist.
Dreadhorde. Yeah, there
Yes.
you go. It's okay. I messed up plenty of words.
You could. Why would you ever not do? You could play Dak Faden's better than Jorian.
Have you read Jorian? It
I have.
says draw a card on it.
Here, let me just.
Are you about to pull up Dak Faden?
Yeah, that's what. Sure, we'll pull that up. There's just no end of cards that are better than that. See, I'm on Dak Faden, Punishing Fire, and a land that taps for green and a deck with no green
Punishing
spells.
Thieves has been done. Punishing Thieves is last year's meme.
Yeah, and it's
We need
great.
a new meme.
It's still good.
No, we
Do
need
you
a
know how
new meme.
often Stryfo's on the top list?
Punishing Thieves
Gotta be
is
like
like
every week.
Cephalid Coliseum now. Or Cephalid
Yeah,
Breakfast.
put it in there. Put it in.
Stick's awful.
Put Punishing Cephalid Coliseum into Punishing Thieves. The problem with that deck is that Punishing Fire is really bad right now.
You know what Legacy All-Star is? This is what a Legacy All-Star looks like.
You have not seen this in play in Legacy.
I've cast this in Legacy. In a Legacy tournament, I have cast this card.
What? Comes into play with X Ice Chasm on it. Put an Ice Count on Iceberg. Remove an Iceberg. I'm sorry. Why? What deck wants
Do you want
this?
Aubrey? Aubrey's 201 with Food Chain.
Yes.
Okay.
Unless they draw. Just give us the highest table that doesn't draw, because everyone goes home last round.
Yeah, I don't think Aubrey's going to be drawing because she already has a draw.
Perfect.
Hopefully the judges will come back around.
Iceberg comes into play with X. I can't fathom why you would play this.
Because of the new enchantment from Modern Horizons that doubles X on stuff that you cast.
That's still not good.
What do you mean? It's gas.
I don't know how it could be any more clear than that.
This should be a snow enchantment.
3-drop? Yeah, it should be a snow enchantment. That's just a tremendous oversight.
It's printed in Ice Age, too. Pretty disappointing.
It is. Wow. We should work at WotC.
We should work at WotC.
Day 1 errata. Iceberg becomes a snow enchantment.
Then you could cast Arkham's Astrolabe off it. Makes the card good instantly.
It would make the mana snow mana, and it would count towards your death touch count for
Indeed.
the Quaddle guy.
Sweet. Table 2 has accepted. It will be sitting
Yeah,
down
these are the
shortly.
same counters as Merit Lage, so you could fate transfer them onto a dark. No,
Aubrey's on
there's nothing there.
the left.
All right, let's get ourselves set up for this next matchup here.
What's Nick on? Nick Neely.
We just had him on camera.
Did we?
Yes, he was playing something.
Okay, well, I'm...
Delver. He was playing Delver.
Did we really just pull him up twice? That's my bad.
He's undefeated. We gotta. Everyone we've had on camera is on again.
I accept that. I just want to see the Food Chain deck. Food Chain versus Rug Delver. Sorry to make you see the same deck twice, but
Was this backwards? I'll
yeah,
fix it.
This is wrong.
I'll fix
Yeah.
it once I'm done typing.
Shuffling out. I'm so excited for this. I love Food Chain. Aubrey has been playing Food Chain here in Seattle for a while now, and consistently does pretty well with it, so I think we're in for a good game.
Yeah, I saw. Oh, the decks are backwards now.
Yeah, it doesn't switch the decks.
I saw Aubrey playing against the Food Chain list or the Brea pod deck.
Yeah, we missed out not getting that one on camera. That one went to time. Aubrey against the Brea deck is how Aubrey
You know,
got
Aubrey
her
had
draw.
infinite mana, and then there was like, well, there's cycling Astrolabes. And, it was a sight to see.
What a deck, huh? All
I feel like I want
right.
to be more specific in this Delver variant. Is
It's
he
Rug Delver. Yeah, there's a Ren and 6 in a daze.
I'm calling him NBC Rug,
Okay.
just to confuse the chat. Emery, Lurker of the Lock. I'll put that on after this round.
Emery Lurker of the Lock.
Is that a
Ooh,
new
look at
card?
that. The Islet.
I love Fiery Islet. I would say that the islet is lit.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I would say about it.
Yeah, I bet it is.
All right. We're playing some normal legacy. We got some blue producing mans. We got a Ponder go.
That Ponder cost a whole life.
Yeah, Ponders always calls to life.
Yeah, okay.
All right, let's see here. We have a forest and a bird.
Oh, birds.
It's the second birds in 2 stream. What are people doing?
This
Come
is
on.
a great birds, though. This is a
Right
top
here.
tier birds. I mean, yeah, it's
Upgrades.
worse than Gilded Goose, but like,
Upgrades.
it's hard to get to Gilded Goose levels, you know?
That's a whole extra toughness you could have got for free. Once Eldraine comes out, then you'll see.
No bad cards.
No bad cards. No stifles, no nimble monkeys. I believe, was he on the crop rotation build? I think he was. The crop rotation with the Caracas and the Bajubag.
I think so. Here's a Ren and 6 shoot the bird. Who needs to bolt the bird when you can needle drop the bird?
That, yeah, works. We'll throw Fire Islet up there. It's just from the Horizon Canopy cycle. Really good with Ren and 6, if I do say
Indeed.
so myself. Yes, Stifle and Mongoose are considered bad. This deck plays, spoiler, my opinion only.
No, I'm with you on that opinion.
But
I mean, Mongoose is sweet, and so
there
is
are no
Stifle.
cards in this deck that are situational like those.
Man, Thoughtseize is such a good Magic card.
Does Ren and 6 and Dreadhorde Arcanist allow Delver to just play like this brutal, grind you out with card advantage game plan that I never had access to before? And because you have access to that game plan, you don't have to try to cheese wins with Stifle and Mongoose.
Very true.
So, Thoughtseize Nick, which is typically a good card against Rug Delver because Delver's so threat light, but Nick's got 4 threats in hand and just ripped another Force of Will to replace the one that was Thoughtseized.
Yeah, Nick is
So-
dream drawing right now. This is exactly what this deck wants to be doing.
So this turn you go Goyf Delver, and then next turn you go... Oh, do you? No, Delver's is only blue card. No, it's not. He has a Ponder. So his hand is Goyf, Ponder, Delver, Goyf, Force of Will. So you got to go Goyf Delver this turn. and then you get to force the food chain, and then you get to hopefully die to the follow-up food chain. Go food chain. Who do you think has the edge in this matchup?
Oh, it's got to be Rug Delver.
Yeah.
This deck's great.
Yeah.
He has
This
a Tarmogoyf in play.
food chain deck has a bunch of fun cards, is making value, and that means that Rug is favored. So,
Boom. Leovold. All-star.
off 3 basics.
Big fan.
Look at that. All these bug decks just
Those
kind
aren't
of
even
laugh in
snow
the face of
basics.
Blood Moon. Yeah. I respect that. I respect the hustle.
Do you?
I hate the argument that, like, you have to play snow basics now because it conceals information.
Yeah, but have you read Astrolabe?
No, that card is awful.
I don't know.
I've never cast an Astrolabe in my life, and that's because I'm casting this week instead of playing the Astrolabe deck I built.
Making waves in Pauper in that format. Oh, that format doesn't even have Gush anymore. Never mind. Dumb format.
I like Goose, but it feels too small to matter. Are we talking about Mongoose or Gilded Goose? There's just so many. You could play Goose Tribal now.
Oof.
It's a shame that Nimble Mongoose can't eat food, because you'd think you would
oh
think
boy,
that
it doesn't
a
even
mongoose,
contribute to Threshold.
right? Tarmogoyf looks pretty hungry himself too. Yeah, Void Lily. I hate that you're technically correct because
no, but not playing Snow Basics plays around that one green card that's
doesn't.
Stone Rain,
You're
but
wrong.
your opponent gains a life.
No. Veto. Oh, force back to protect the Leovold. Okay. So is this Leovold going to do a lot in
This
the favor
Leovold
of the
has to go all the way, I
2/4/5s?
think. Honestly.
Well, I mean, it shuts off nothing that I
Yeah,
can
but
see.
it's like
Shuts off future cantrips. The Fiery Islet just gets to draw on Aubrey's turn.
if Aubrey doesn't have an advisor, where is Aubrey going to go with this game?
I should probably spell Aubrey's name right, huh? It's very rude of me.
That would be kind.
Yeah. This. I mean, Aubrey has the line to just backdoor a food chain into a guy and win.
Yeah, seems accurate.
Naked Neely's shields are down right now. Baleful Strix is well, never mind, it's running 6. Remember back in the day when Baleful Strix was good against Delver?
Do you think Aubrey's heard that they made a better Baleful Strix, but you need Snowlands for it? I'm just messing with you.
I hate that you're right about that. It would just have Death Touch.
Yeah, it would.
And
Or
Flash.
it would have Flash, is the big thing.
Maybe you do have to play the Ice Fang Quaddle because it gets around the Ren and 6 activation.
Possibly.
Hmm.
Either way, Ice Fang Codal seems fantastic in Food Chain.
Those creatures behind lands are allowed and encouraged. We support individualism here. Tassiger, the Golden Fang, a 4/5 that shrinks the Tarmogoyf. Let's see if Nick picks up on that. So Goyfs are 3/4s at the moment, although they're
I
going to
hope
go
he
up to
does.
5/6s once that Baleful Strix dies. So no love for the Fun Police. Leovold's going to draw Aubrey a card.
You don't need 3 other snow permanents, you need 2 other snow permanents. But yes. I
You
think.
need 3 others.
Do you need 3 others?
Yeah, I don't think it counts itself. I remember reading it and being very confused at why it didn't count itself. All right, Nick Leedy has assembled a contraption.
Oh, wow.
He's
3
now-
others. Oh, this card is significantly worse than I thought it was.
Drawing an extra card per turn. Lightning Bolt's got to be a good draw. No. Bolt first. Bolt first. Bolt first. No! So much wasted value. No, we got a reader.
Unfortunate. I was a reader just now.
Crash in with... You're not bolting? I bolt the Leovold. Get it gone. Save your Ren and 6.
This is why Leovold's gas.
I played Tasker in Legacy before.
Have you?
Yep.
Have you
Yeah, I
won
played
those
on
games?
Grixis. I have.
Oof.
But I would have won them faster if it was a Grimeye Gangler.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And activating it just gets you Thought Seizes back when you don't want them.
Also not wrong.
Fatal Pushes when you don't want them. It's Tassiger's the ideal card that I want in my Grixis control decks, but it's also not playable, so.
Well, is that getting... What's going on? Tassiger got bolted?
Battle Res, it looks like you spelled the card right, but MTG Bot's just not on your level. Although I do think it's Ice-Fane. Is this a double block and then Bolt Tassiger? Oh, it's double blocking a Goyf? If you double block a Goyf here, you bolt the Leovold? Oh, that doesn't kill the Tasker though, but it does save your Goyf. I like using the Bolt. Or did he use the Bolt? I blinked. Why is this Volcanic Island tapped?
Hit us with the brainstorm.
All right, my guess is that the volcanic island is tapped because
Opinion on this brainstorm art?
I played that brainstorm art.
Really?
I like the Mercadian mass.
I can't see it. See, I see all of those yellow dots as thinking face emojis.
Fine with
It
that.
just like doesn't do it for me.
Fine with that.
Really?
It embodies brainstorm.
Okay.
Mine are also Spanish, and they're sudden inspiration. Inspiración subida.
I can't speak Spanish, so I don't know that.
Well, you're right. Yeah, so my brainstorm hierarchy goes Mercadian mass, then Ice Age, because for me, it's old frame above all else.
Okay.
And then, once you get the old frame ones out of the way, I think I like the spellbook ones third best.
Okay. I'm all in for that Chris Rush art.
Yeah.
Hard
That's
to
the
beat.
Ice Age, yeah. What is happening here?
I think we're Taskering?
I think we're reconstructing a game state.
Possibly.
Okay, so Tasker eats Run in 6. Aubrey draws Abrupt Decay. Abrupt Decay kills Tarmogoyf. Yeah, I bet you wish you had bolted and blocks now.
The literal brainstorm is a pretty good art for brainstorm. From M25.
No, that art's awful. I
No,
hate
that art's
art.
sweet. It's
I
a
don't
literal
like that art
brainstorm.
at all. I don't like that art at all.
Big fan. Honestly, all the brainstorm art's pretty good.
Yeah, I would agree. But the Stormhead brain is the worst one.
Hot take: current border is, I don't know. It's the best border for contributing or for conveying information. Absolutely. I don't think it looks the best, and I don't think you can ever argue what looks the best just because it's all subjective. But I do think the current border is the best at conveying information on the card. Goldilocks.
What's the name of that card?
What card?
The new one.
New card.
I was going to make an awful joke about how the new border is the worst thing that I've ever seen, but I know that he's not talking about the newest border. But the newest border is the worst thing I've ever seen. It's an affront to humanity. Also, how is Nick losing this game? Aubrey has had quite the series of draws. So the Baleful Strix got answered by the onboard Run in 6. Double attack with Tarmogoyf ended up in one of them being blocked and traded. Tassiger kills Ren in 6, and Aubrey rips Abrupt Decay to kill the remaining Goyf. Nick went from having like the entire world to nothing.
Yeah. These food chains do that. Leovold's pretty good at Magic.
This may as well just be Shardless Bug.
That's what food chain is now.
There was a little bit, so I think if he bolts the Leovold and then Ren in 6 is the Baleful Strix, Aubrey has one less card and doesn't get to trade for a Tarmogoyf.
I'm not sure that matters.
Nick would have a Tarmogoyf in play.
I'm not sure that matters.
I think that matters. If you have a Tarmogoyf in play, Tasker can't attack. Because Aubrey's at 6.
Okay. Yeah, that's accurate.
All right, Ren in 6, upticks to 4, Rookers, but this is just a slow cantrip.
Yeah, it's not
Because
great.
it's just going to get eaten by this Tassiger.
It's
I
because
think,
it,
I
no
think
stifle.
I'd rather wait a turn to find a land, and then you can play Ren and ticks, and then down tick plus bolt. No, it doesn't work, because Tassiger's 5 toughness, not 4. If Nick finds a second lightning bolt, he wins. That's his out.
Fingers crossed for Nick.
Or if he gets to attack with a Dreadhorde Arcanist and flashback the bolt he has.
Aubrey's got that grind going on right now, though. Not even wanting to hit the Ren and 6. Oh, here's the Shardless Agent.
And
It is
Shardless
Shardless Bud. We're playing Shardless Bud, but
But I did see a food chain in play, but
it's food chain.
okay, yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Cast my card.
This is a good hit, right? Manipulate Fate?
Sure. I mean, you don't hit it, it draws you a card. It's better than a Thoughtseize would be.
I'm a fan.
Throw that up there because this card it's been played in Legacy forever, but it's only played in one deck that isn't very common at all. So searches your deck for 3 cards, exiles them, and shuffles your library. Now you go, Tom, why would you want to exile 3 cards in your deck?
No clue. Why?
So you can get cards that you can cast from exile. Among them, Mist Hologriffin. Among them, the other nonsense Eldrazi
gotcha.
guy.
Didn't know the Eldrazi.
Do you know the nonsense Eldrazi guy?
I don't know.
Chat, what is the Eldrazi you
Scion?
can cast from exile? And then I've seen people manipulate Fate for Verdant Catacombs a lot too.
Yeah, that's fair.
Kinda then the worst card out of your deck.
Yeah, just take out the bad ones. No
But-
bad cards.
At the end of the
Eternal
day,
Scourge.
Eternal Scourge. Thank you, Shifted Clock. At the end of the day, Ooh, a True Name Nemesis off the top for Nick.
Foresight
that's
does
exactly
do
what he
basically
wants.
the same thing as Manipulate Fate, but Foresight, I believe, draws on next upkeep.
And so you have a Shardless Agent
Yeah.
that draws you essentially 2 cards.
So Foresight is like strictly worse,
Mhm.
except against Leovold.
Yeah, and the art is really scary. Going forward, so this run at 6 didn't die to Tasigur. Aubrey is trying to clock Neil instead, saying, okay, you can draw 2 cards a turn, but that
Mm. Throwing down the True Name.
yeah, that may not pay off. So this True Name gets to clog up combat for a turn, and then attack down to 2, and then Ren down to 1. No, if this True Name attacks, the bolt becomes lethal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nick did manage to pull a win out of this game, but it is very close.
Yeah. The True Name represents a real problem for Aubrey.
Something like a main deck Edict. It's unlikely to be there. Food Chains usually plays a 1 of Walking Ballista, which is close but not lethal.
Yeah. Walking Ballista won't get there. Aubrey does have the Force, but packs it up.
Yeah.
Cannot beat the True Name.
Yeah, so Ren down tick plus True Name. Yeah. All right. Well, really close game. The Bug deck really put up quite the fight. You kind of get to see the value of playing these shardless mid-range decks.
I think that
against
really showed the
Delver.
powerful effect of Leovold. Honestly, I think Leovold's the only reason Aubrey stayed in that game so long.
And it only drew her 2 cards, 3 cards.
3 cards and or 2 cards and it stood in the way for a while.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah. Leovold's a good card.
big fan.
Yeah, I kind of hate that Narset kind of came in and obsoleted it in the blue-based control decks, but
I agree.
luckily we're getting to the point where Leovold's just good again because people are playing a bunch of Red Blasts and Lightning Bolts they've swapped up the removal mix in the control decks to be able to beat Narset, and Miracles just kind of stopped.
That and Astrolabe makes it so those like basic grindy decks like that can be a bit more reasonable.
Mm-hmm. Although Narset and Leovold both shut off Astrolabe.
They do.
All right, sideboard cards. I imagine we're seeing some number of forces, counterspells, that kind of thing come out from Nick. And Aubrey is, I would assume you just cut your food chains in this matchup and you just play Shardless Bug. I don't think I want food chain. I don't think I'm in love with like.
Really? Do you think
solid-
Shardless Bug can grind out no bad cards rug?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Shardless. I think assuming that she has like the normal Golgari Charm, maybe Knight of Souls Betrayal, maybe some Liliana Last Hopes, like the normal mid-rangey sideboard cards that you'd expect to see. I think the Shardless Agent game plan plus Baleful Strix and Leovold is enough to outgrind Rug, but it's definitely a lot closer now than it used to be, and especially the absence of a card like Ancestral Vision to really be a burst of card advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. You leave in the Miss Hologriffins because the 3/4 is just good against Rug. And
Eternal Scourge is pretty gas too.
you can pitch Miss Hologriffin to Force and then cast it.
That's the biggest
Which is
value,
very spicy.
honestly. I think I still think Eternal Scourge is where it's at. The fact that whenever it gets targeted, it gets exiled means that you just like it never dies.
Or it always dies.
It always dies, but
It's
like
9/6.
you can just cast it again.
That's true. Yeah, I actually forgot it had that line of text on it.
It's a
but
pretty
there
sweet
you go.
line of text, in my opinion.
But you can't really use it to block then because it goes in the graveyard and you lose it. This deck needs Deathright Shaman to exile the Eternal Scourges out of your own graveyard
This deck does need Deathrite Shaman.
and Gilded Goose.
I think Gilded Goose better than Deathrite Shaman? I think confirmed.
No.
Yes. No.
What?
No. Get this. Okay. Deathrite Shaman gains 2 life. Gilded Goose gains 3 life with food.
I'll snap, you're right. And it's better with Goblin Welder.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm in.
Yeah.
Gilded Goose all the way. We're on the hype train. This is now a Gilded Goose stream.
Indeed.
No, but Aubrey has access to, I assume, at least. I did see a Lily Last Hope. I think you want the Spell Bombs because Ren and 6 recurring things and Dreadhorde Arcanist recurring things are both really easy ways to lose.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah, that's disgusting that this rug deck also gets to draw multiple cards every turn.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be allowed.
Rug deck's pretty good.
Baleful Strix is pretty good, though.
I
They
heard.
kind of have to have a red and
But the
six,
rug deck gets
or
to
else
play
it's-
with Baleful Strix if they want it.
You have to play a bunch of basics.
Basics are pretty good. You only
All
need
right,
a
let's
few
see.
in
Mulligan,
Astrolabes.
Above the Case and A+, Brainstorms. I believe the last card's Carpet of Flowers. That's going to be pretty good.
Carpet of Flowers is a house against all these Delver decks. I think Carpet of Flowers is underplayed in Legacy. I was playing it in the green builds of Sneak and Show.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty hot. Big
So
fan.
you play the one Fire Islet,
Indeed.
so that you
Get around it. Yeah.
Oh, I love the Fire Islet lets you play around Choke. That
It
was the
does.
bane of my existence last year when I was playing Grixis. I was doing all sorts of weird nonsense to beat Choke.
You didn't have like the 3/2? It's unblockable?
Nope, I played Sunken Ruin. Off Swamp, Badlands, Sunken Ruin. Could cast my whole deck.
Bad choice.
It's a great choice.
What do you mean? Sunken Rune doesn't attack for 3 unblockable.
Oh, that's true. I did switch up to Creeping Tar Pit when Narset became a thing because I wanted a land that could murder Narset.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Narset's pretty good. So, Carpet of Flowers has an interesting dynamic that says you have to counter this with a soft counter or all your soft counters die. All the dead cards.
Yeah. Carpet of Flowers is a house, absolutely. Here comes the Fiery Islet, though.
Fetching a Breeding Pool. Aubrey showed real duels last game, so I imagine that means there's a Tropical Island in her hand. At least one. No. It's not. Maybe she just doesn't have the Trop. That's fine, too. I register Shocklands in my Delver decks all the time.
These things happen.
And then the Fire Islet to play around the Carpet of Flowers is just good magic.
Very true, honestly. Fiery Islet is an all-star of a card and should be played in more Delver decks.
100%. Unless you don't have Ren and 6.
Yeah, that's fair. But even if you don't have Ren and
Yeah,
6,
but even then, huh? You still
it's
could.
still fine,
Play
right?
Waterlogged Grove and a Bug Delver.
I mean, here's the big thing with playing Fiery Islet is that on turn 1, you can't daze with it, and that's pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that,
It's a Brainstorm. Brainstorm comes Land, Force of Will, green card? Oh, it's a unglued. So sorry, it's Abrupt Decay, Force of Will, Swamp was the Brainstorm. So having two Abrupt Decay are pretty good in this matchup, especially since you have the mana to cast them and one of them is a basic. Putting away the Force of Will is fine. I don't hate
Yeah,
that at all.
Force
There's
of
really
Will-
nothing you want to force.
I almost
from the
feel like you
featuring
might
side.
want to side it out.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to keep it just to protect your combo when you're trying to win.
That's why you would leave him.
But even then,
Yeah, Carpet of Flowers is an interesting angle for the deck. You definitely want to leave in the food chain if that's your sideboard plan.
absolutely.
But it may also be that she's not playing enough of a transformable sideboard that she has to be food chain all the time, which is like fine.
I'd like to see a Veil of Summer.
Bug Delver's unlikely to be able to remove it other than a Return to Nature. Veil of Summer's very good.
Mm-hmm. All-star of a card.
Just 1 mana Cryptic Command.
Or so I've heard. Makes
Makes me sad as a Hymn to Torak player, I'll tell you what.
I'm really glad it exists. Hymn to Torak can kindly leave the format.
Hymn to Torak will never die. That's
Yeah,
one of
probably
those like fair checks in Legacy. Just like Blood Moon has to stay legal forever and Force of Will.
Yeah.
And Chalice of the Void.
That seems accurate.
Like, I'd be fine with banning any one of those cards, but you don't really need to. Because it creates this weird give and take where no matter what the best deck is, there's a prison deck to beat it.
I agree.
So right now, Turbo Depths is the best, so you play Blood Moon, and then you can play Astrolabe to beat Blood Moon, but then you're soft to Chalice. So it's
Honestly,
very
I'd rather have Mind Twist than him in the format, though.
cool. Well, that's because you hate fun.
Is it because I hate fun, or is it
All
because
right,
I
chat.
love fun?
Let's vote right now. What is the more fun card, Mind Twist or Hymn to Torak or Show and Tell?
Honestly, I've never seen Mind Twist do anything but fair stuff. So,
Like Hymn to Torak. Only does fair stuff.
what do you mean? It does fair stuff for 1 less mana.
It's a
That's
nice, clean 2-for-1.
OP. Show and Tell. Now you're talking my language. What a card, Show and
All right,
Tell.
1 vote him, 1 vote Show and Tell. Which is the more fun card?
Show and Tell's definitely the most fun card.
Yeah, Mind Twist is leagues worse than Hymn to Torak.
Oh, yeah.
Orders of magnitude worse
Absolutely,
than Hymn
Mind
to Torak.
Twist is worse
Mind
than
Twist
Hymn to
is a
Torak.
standard legal magic card. Could be a standard. Well, it could be a modern legal magic card.
Yeah. I
Could
agree.
probably be a standard legal Magic card. They have Wits End standard.
Yeah,
They've
but
had Mind
like, does
Shatter
it
in
really contribute to anything fun?
standard. Well, no.
There you go.
But him to Torak does.
Does it?
All right, Nick's really short on lands here. He's digging and digging and digging. He really would love to play this Trina Nemesis, and I don't really blame him considering how good it was in the first game.
Yeah, I agree.
Or it could be that he's sandbagging islands.
Dies to
turn off the
Questing
Carpet
Beast,
of
though.
Flowers. Okay, you know what? I just don't get Questing Beast. Why would I want to play a 4-mana card that dies to Fatal Push? I don't get it. Shardless Agent, using the mana from Carpet of Flowers. Ooh, Plague Engineer.
Ooh, here's a
That
ponder.
kills your Trina Nemesis.
Yeah, it does. Now it's on the
Alright.
bottom of the deck, though.
Yeah, you've heard of Pondering Mage. This is also Pondering Mage, but 1 card, 2 mana
One mana,
less.
Pondering Mage. Whoa.
This is the guy on the Art of Ponder.
This is not the guy on the Art of Ponder.
100%.
This guy has a mask. The Art of Ponder has Jace's face.
There's like a 2% chance you get the right art coming out.
Look at that. That's definitely Jace's
He
face.
just took the mask off. Jace is not that fat.
You really
Jace
saying that
doesn't have
he
chuggy
just went
cheeks.
mask off?
No, Jace has got a skinny face with like little blue lines on it.
Its art direction has changed.
Yeah, but he still has skinny blue lines on it.
No, we need to look at Jace Beleren because it's the same set.
No, Jace Beleren is from 9 years ago.
Jace Beleren is from Lorwyn, which is what Ponder is from. Thank you very much.
Merfolk Ponder is from Laurelin.
Still Ponder.
We have to look at whatever Lauren's in the M10 set. Whatever Jace is in the M10 set.
What? Wrong Jace.
Yeah, blue lines on the face confirmed.
This is the worst.
Luckily, nothing has happened in this game. And now we're going back, and there's a Tarmogoyf in play, and we know that there's a Trina Nemesis coming down next turn, so... why didn't the Trina come down this turn? I guess he's holding up Bolt. Okay. So, Carpet of Flowers comes in, makes... Oh, he's holding up, don't make Carpet of Flowers, make 2 mana.
Yeah, is this Carpet of Flowers number 2 coming down?
No, I believe that's a food chain in Aubrey's hand.
Ooh, Shardless Agent.
So, Stardust Agent...
Hit us with it. Ooh, Edict. Not a very good draw.
Oh, the Edicts and the Plague Engineers from the board. Okay. Yeah, given you have Edicts in your deck, I think I don't like decaying the Goyf if you know that you're going to play.
You don't have to
Shardless
put
Agent.
True Name Nemesis into standard to get people to stop playing. You just have to put energy into standard.
Right, you are. Yeah, I think we saw a slight misstep from Aubrey there. If you know that you have the Decay and the Shardless Agent in your hand, I think you want to play the Agent before you decay the Goyf, just to see what you hit. She got a little punish there, but unlikely to matter. She's very far ahead.
Eh.
So we've seen Diabolic Edict and Plague Engineer both get shuffled back into Aubrey's library. She needs to find one of those cards in the next 3 turns.
Yeah. Why 3 turns?
Because Nick has 2 bolts.
Ooh. Yeah.
So technically 3.5 turns, but probably 3 turns. Trigger Carpet, make 2 mana. So I got Baleful Strix and a mystery card. Food Chain. Alright. Nick, you should fight over this.
This food chain art doesn't have a, like, tiger on it with horns.
Nick has a Spell Pierce that doesn't do anything. There's a Daze that
Keep it going.
Anything. Pay for Daze. Yeah, I don't
He
I don't
tried
like
his
to
best.
like cast the Daze because it makes you feel like you did something. I don't like that at all.
Not a fan. I'm with you on that. Especially since it cost a life to cast it.
Make 3 mana.
Eternal
There's the Eternal
Scourge.
Scourge. Alright, here's infinite mana for Aubrey. And it casts Baleful
Alright,
Strix.
Strix, what are
Best
we
thing to do with infinite mana.
Ooh, and it rips
More infinite mana.
more guys.
Nick's dead. You can't be a 3/4 that you can never kill. This clock is too fast. That's my prediction. Because you have to attack with True Name. You can't realistically win any game where you're leaving it back to block the Eternal Scourge. Because if you leave it back and Aubrey only attacks in the air, Aubrey's still got a 3-turn clock. But if you attack, you might be able to race. So the next turn... So Aubrey takes Virtual 6, is at 7, then 4, then 3, then 1. Where Nick is going to go from 12 to 5 to dead.
Yeah.
Does Third Bolt help him? Not really.
Arcanist, Pyroblast are off that. Does
Something-
Pyroblast help him? I don't
He
think
can
so.
Pyroblast. No, because he can never... Like, he can Pyroblast as a fog. The Mist Hollow Griffin.
I guess. Doesn't seem great.
So this is where you do math. So Aubrey's at virtual 7, which is 3 attacks. But I don't see a world where Nick can survive 2 attacks back. Because this is an attack for 9.
Is that life total accurate?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Because that means Nick didn't attack.
No, Nick attack. Aubrey was at 16.
Oh, okay.
Pyroblast your Leovold, sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely your Pyroblast the Leovold, but then you take 9, you go to 3. Nick also didn't shuffle his Ponder, so I believe his top card is Ponder. Yeah, untap some blockers, sure. He could have Pyroblasted the Missile Griffin on the stack, which is something that doesn't matter. Oh, it's not Ponder, it's Arcanist. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going to get a game 3, folks.
Indeed. You ready for it? Yep. Nick packs it up. Aubrey gets game 2.
So we know Aubrey bought in a bunch of -1/-1 effects, coupled with these Insistent Abrupt Decays, Baleful Strixes, and Shardless Agents. She's very, very well set up to answer everything Nick's doing.
Honestly, I think that Aubrey probably has the advantage here. Just the grindier deck.
Nick wants to go like Arcanist into Ren and 6 to ping the Baleful Strix, but that line dies to Abrupt Decay, so
Do you know what Renin 6 can't kill with its ping?
Ice Fang Quaddle.
No. Golden Goose.
Golden. Oh, wow. Put that up on there for our viewers.
Let's
at
put
home.
up Golden Goose again.
Yeah, let's just in case you haven't seen this All-Star from Rise of the Eldraine,
Yeah.
it's a Birds of Paradise with 2 toughness. So let's do all the things that it survives. Run in 6.
Indeed.
Right? It carries equipment and flies over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And it makes you a food token.
It does make
which
food
does
tokens.
no end of things. It's a virtual card against burn.
Yeah.
Right? It's a time walk against Delver.
Indeed.
It welds out with your Goblin Welder.
Uh-huh. You can do
Right.
that with food tokens.
So you can weld out the food and weld in your Arcum's Astrolabe and draw a card.
After it gets countered off of
That's
Chalice.
amazing. Yeah, just this is going to revolutionize the Legacy format. You can sack the food to Breya. It's just a good top deck. It never dies in the late game like Birds of Paradise does. Plus,
agree.
look at that art.
What
It
card?
is- You know what
You
else?
can animate the food with Tezzeret.
You can animate the food with You
Yep.
can sack the food to Duretti.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you're like, nice chalice.
You know what?
Throw food at it.
Food also says 2 mana, tap it, sack it, counter target lightning bolt.
It does.
Well, not quite, but you know.
That's what we call virtual card advantage.
Mhm.
You know what? Real card advantage. Not even virtual. And the goose makes more food the longer it's in play.
Yeah, it does. Oh, the bird gets dazed after the Delver. Well, this is not a good sign for Aubrey.
If it were a golden goose,
It would still get dazed.
it would still get dazed. Yeah, you're right.
Unfortunate.
Shows you brainstorm.
Man, this is
Delver.
exactly what Nick wants to be doing. This is the nuts.
Yeah, and he still has Force Blue card and a follow-up Dreadhorde Arcanist.
And has a Ponder to cast here. This is the literal nuts from Rug Delver, so
Yeah.
we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, you definitely just ponder here. You do have to find a green source someday, but like you're not in a hurry.
No, absolutely not.
Plus,
What's
you
that
want.
white border red card? Bolt? Bolt.
Yep.
There's a force of negation. It's a second force.
Interesting that he brought those in.
Also another Delver. Do you think you just go, like, put force of negation on top
Goose dies to fatal push.
and then
that
flip
means
your
it-
second
no.
Delver? Looks like Nick agrees? Yeah.
Battle Res Goose dies to fatal push, but it leaves behind the food, and so you're barely even down a card.
Exactly.
All right. Would it just be justice if Aubrey has just basic Swamp Abrupt Decay?
I really hope. But this
Do,
is...
do I hope for that or against that? Who do I want to win?
I'm rooting for Aubrey here.
Okay, I'll root for Delver.
Aubrey has food chain.
No
in
Abrupt Decay
Aubrey's
one
deck,
time.
So,
Yeah, thanks for Lily. For Lily gets it. +1 permanent.
you can't fatal push the food. That's very true.
Can't fatal push the food. You can Kolaghan's command the food, which is
You-
kind of rough.
Yeah, that's
So Kolaghan's
unfortunate.
command would 1-for-1 a Gilded Goose.
Yes, it would. But that means
So-
Gilded Goose, Kolaghan's, or 1-for-1s with a 3-mana card.
Yeah.
Costs 1 mana.
Yeah.
That's Tempa.
And if you're lucky, you tap for mana along the way.
Exactly. You can tap it for... You can sacrifice the food in response to the Kolaghan's command.
Yeah, we can't overlook that, like, it also taps for mana. Like, it is just a strictly better Birds of Paradise while you're going.
Indeed.
While you're, like, reaching that point of the game. You can't ancient grudge. You can ancient grudge the food though.
Yeah, but not the goose. There's no
Oh,
one.
that's true. Yeah, but you can like tap the goose to eat the food in response. Like no one's ancient grudging food. This is Legacy. All right, the classic Baleful Strix versus Delver of Secrets showdown. Nick had a lightning bolt on the top of his deck, and he didn't shuffle. So looks like he's just gonna draw the bolt, kill the thing. What's this land tap for? Oh, did he bolt something last turn? No. Oh, the land's tap for the second Delver. I don't like playing second Delver over Arcanist. Arcanist is
I like
just
playing second
an
Delver over Arcanist.
absurd magic card. Especially once you know you have Bolt, because then you can bolt the thing, attack with the Arcanist, and then cast the Ponder.
I guess.
Delver just deals damage. I guess it's going to be worth it if
Carpet is exiled. Man,
Aubrey
Legacy
has-
players are forever gonna miss the fact that Force of Negation exiles.
Fortunately, in this matchup, it's not going to matter.
Yeah,
might
it
matter.
shouldn't matter.
Hey, you want to go tell them the thing's exiled so the Tarmogoyfs are tiny?
Yeah.
We don't want no
Ooh,
large
that does matter.
Tarmogoyfs
You're
over
right.
here.
Tarmogoyf and enchantment. We should keep track of that.
All right. You bolt the Baleful Strix because you have to. Because that's what you sent. Oh, he doesn't have an Arcanist.
Oh, that's a magmatic sinkhole.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everything makes more sense.
Indeed.
We're bad. Sorry for ever doubting you, Nick. You know what Nick needs right now? Wasteland. Tag that Black Source. No more Baleful Strixes. No more Leovolds.
It doesn't even matter. Karn doesn't turn off feeding the goose food.
Karn makes it so you can't deactivate food.
You can't activate the food, but you can eat the food.
And you can make more food.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're still doing fine. I just like the Goblin Welder Gilded Goose interaction.
It's such
That's
a
what
good
I'm
one, isn't
stuck
it?
on.
It's an all-star. And even after you Goblin Welder away your food, you're left with an O2.
Is
How
there-
good is that?
Is there a Tireless Tracker Goblin Welder deck out there
Oh,
that exists?
oh boy.
We need to explore this a little bit.
What an archetype. Food token tribal.
All right, so there's the Overgrown Tomb making 2 mana, playing the Edict.
Ooh, baby. Nick's out of clocks.
Nick is out of. So his remaining cards are Blue Card and Magmatic Sinkhole.
Ooh,
that's a
that
good
is the
one.
rip Nick needed. Now Nick just needs a land. That true name will take Nick all the way to the end.
He hasn't seen a second land this whole game. At some point, he will
You mean
either. Yeah, third land. Thank you. At some point, he will start drawing green cards, and that'll be bad. Feed the food to the goose. Yeah, it bothers me that Nimble Mongoose can't also eat food. It feels like that should just be a goose thing.
Honestly.
Like they should just
A mongoose
release
would
errata.
eat someone else's food too, for sure.
I feel like a mongoose would eat a wide variety of things. Plus, what is so food and like the art's like a cornucopia and like some pie.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting what they chose for food.
I bet you there'll be multiple arts.
There's a tweet from Rich Say that was like when I started playing Magic, artifacts were these big mystical mythic relics that imbued with power, and now they're like a Wendy's value menu. It's an artifact. All
Now
right.
artifacts are just glorified enchantments that die to red.
Doesn't exile Baleful Strix. So Aubrey prioritizes returning the Baleful Strix over Shrinking Tarmogoyf. Play this 2 mana cantrip. Is Karn gonna come down before you want to eat the food or get fed to the goose? Nimbler Mongoose. That's what I want to see in the set. I want Nimbler Mongoose.
Nimbler mongoose?
Yeah, that'll be in the next set. That'll be in Return to Eldraine.
Will it just have like mega threshold?
It'll just eat your opponent's food. It'll be
Okay.
like whenever a food comes into play under your opponent's control, they sacrifice it, and this gets +1/+1, and you gain 3 life.
Okay. Accurate. That
Sure.
makes sense. Winter orb. Oh, I
Oh,
want.
Winter Orb is insane on the holy. Whoa! No! Boo!
Oh, what?
Look, his image not.
We can't bring up a German winter orb?
Oh, is that what I
Yeah.
I also typed in Frostbringer.
Frostbringer is fantastic. Yeah.
Well, fine. Very rude. But I get it. I guess you still want to keep playing Magic.
Oh, Sinkhole answers,
Sinkhole answers Tasigur cleanly.
doesn't
Love
it?
that.
And
Oh,
it's
an
like,
activation and response.
it's delve cards versus delve cards.
So now you're going to see why I don't love Tasigur, because she's just going to get like a dead
Manipulate
Force of
Fate.
Will or a Manipulate Fate.
Yeah, I for sure give Manipulate Fate here. That card does nothing. I mean, here's the thing though.
I
Aubrey,
mean, technically it's like 6 mana.
Aubrey
over
can
2
just
turns draw
cast a
card.
3/3 every turn now. Like Aubrey just has like missed hologlyphs in exile.
Yes.
So Nick needs to rip really well consistently.
He
Honestly,
can force the first one.
are you really forcing like missed hologlyph
I
though?
mean, you don't feel good about it, but you got to win the game.
I guess.
I agree that it feels exactly the tone of voice you use. That's what it feels like. It's like, ugh, I have to what?
Yeah, that's fair.
But Nick untaps his graveyard.
There's the Ren and 6.
He
No green though.
untaps his exile, looks down, realizes that it's his exile. He's had this
Brutal.
Trina Nemesis for quite a while, and I think he really wishes it were on the battlefield right now, winning him the game.
I agree. I think he does wish for that.
So he has Double Force, True Name, and Renin 6. Boy Lily points out that the Nimble Mongoose would be gaining 3 life, not us.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Oversight.
Food
on my
chain
part.
gets forced
Well,
naturally.
Makes sense. Thank you, Constantine. Somebody give Constantine the promo full art Gilded Goose for Christmas.
I'll
so
make
that
sure he
burns
gets
it.
4 as a playset this Christmas.
Here, come here. This art. This is the art that we need to. Everybody give this to Constantine.
Yeah.
He can look at. This is the one that he can burn.
Yeah.
We're a Gilded Goose stand stream. We know what we're about.
Oh, I thought that polluted delta was a Tezzeret Agent of Bolas, and I was really excited.
Just go find exactly the 2 remaining Baleful Strixes. There's a
Oh,
Caracas.
it landed.
He boarded in the Caracas to bounce Leovold. Insane.
That sounds awful.
Amazing.
guess.
Look at this, man. This is just good deck building, folks.
Look at that. Aubrey just time walked herself. Lowered the clock by a whole turn.
Yeah, I don't like cracking fetch.
I really don't either.
But look at this, man. This is volcanic.
for the
Island,
brainstorm.
Volcanic Island. No, I still wouldn't.
With it on the stack?
Oh, with the Trinium on the stab? No, I still wouldn't. It's not worth going to 9.
Okay. Mmm.
Volcanic Island, Caracas, while there's a Renin 6 in his hand.
Man.
If that's not good deck building, I don't know what is. It's giving financial value, but okay. Birds of Paradise is a rare, not a mythic, and it's like a $10 card. So
Is it a
Birds of
$10 card? Birds of Paradise is not a $10
Yeah.
card.
if Birds of Paradise is $10, how much is Gilded Goose?
Oh, 50?
15? 20? 25? Probably not 20. I think Gilded Goose is like a $15 card. Don't listen to me, I'm just lying.
I can't believe Birds of Paradise is worth money. $760 from Throne.
Yeah, that's $10. Alright, let's see. Aubrey's digging. Ponder shuffles. Another Ponder. Finds Abrupt Decay and a Brainstorm. She thinks about throwing it, then realizes there's a Brainstorm. Bet you wish you had that fetch land now. Though I still don't think you can crack it, because I don't think you want to go to 9. So she has at least 1 Edict, which she cast this game already. So there's
Plague Engineer.
Plague Engineer. There's probably more.
Yeah.
Though I think I only saw her board in 3 cards plus a Liliana.
Is Nick winning this race, though?
Yes.
He is?
Yeah, it's a 9 to a 9.
Yeah, but Aubrey
Nick
can
gets
just cast
first
another 3/3. Is he winning it now?
He attacks Aubrey.
Down to 6.
He
Aubrey
wins if he
attacks him down
finds
to
a
3.
bolt.
He wins if he finds a bolt, but now he's losing.
Yes. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
predicted he lost when he played the Manipulate Fate, so I'll take the credit for the correct prediction here.
That's fair. I accept that.
Aubrey found a force.
Yeah,
So
I
now
think that
she has
locks
the
the
bolt
game up.
covered.
Just hard cast the Force, even.
What if Nick played Mirror Gallery? No. Played Leyline of Singularity.
Man, we're going
and then
deep,
started crocusing these.
You know,
birds.
Leyline of Singularity is exactly what you need to play 4 Horsemen in Modern.
No, you're thinking of Leyline of Anticipation.
No, Leyline of Singularity.
What does it do in...
There's a artifact that lets you tap it to untap a legendary
Oh,
permanent.
sure. Yeah, I'm familiar. All right, and that wraps it up.
All right,
We'll bring us
everyone.
Back to the casters here. That was 4 rounds of Legacy. We had some spicy.
I
decks
really
on
enjoyed
that.
that.
We had a 5-color Brea pod.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We had some Blood Moon decks to beat it.
Yeah,
We had the legendary Black Creature Mirror.
indeed.
the Merit Lage versus Black Red Reanimator. We had the old Shardless archetype resurrected,
Truly.
triumphing over the new No Bad Cards Rugless.
Ren and 6 bad card confirmed.
And then we had Delver versus another deck
Gotta love it.
that I think he beat. What was he playing against? And that was our stream, folks. Thank you so much for coming and joining us.
Oh, Ruby Storm, yeah.
Yeah, Ruby Storm.
Have a good night,
perfect.
everyone. Take care. We're gonna head
We'll
out.
see you next Monday, and don't forget to pre-order all of your Gilded Geese at cardkingdom.com. Bye.